changes now.
Yeah.
Like it's absolutely bizarre. And having recently read significant portion along with your stream,
it kind of doesn't.
Bored out of my fucking mind for parts of it.
Oh yeah, that was me. That's why I was just like, I literally can't watch this without wanting to fall asleep. It's like Higurashi isn't bad, and these story beats aren't bad. It's just, look, y'all, I've seen this already. I read the visual novel. I've seen the original anime. I don't need to do this again.
It was particularly rough having that context of just been through the novel.
Right.
Like, for people that haven't seen it since, 2006, maybe not as...
Maybe it's a little more... Maybe it's a little more... maybe a little less aggravating. Maybe a little less plotting. But, yeah. Just Jesus. Yeah, like, just having... Like, being excited for those first couple of episodes where they were teasing something really fun, something interesting, and then...
I think the first arc is fine, as it is. Mm-hmm. But then the second one was like... Okay, come on. And then the third one has, like, the least changes. And it's just like, I fucking can't. There are, like, 2 episodes in a row that I saw, like, literally no changes from the VN. Just that it's just barreling through that content.
Man.
Yeah, that was the shotgun, is how fast they go through a certain arc.
Yeah, jeez. So weird, man. Like, this show in and of itself is just so weird.
Yeah.
Like, and like the weird implications from the fucking OP, where, like, one specific thing happens, you're like, wait a minute. What?
Yeah. I know people are still analyzing parts of that OP.
There's a lot there to analyze, and a lot of it could be red herring. Like, it's so... Just, like, I guess Ryukishi is leaving you guessing at this point. Like, I guess that's
the end of the first 3 arcs is you go, okay, what the fuck?
Right.
It just comes out of nowhere every time.
Yeah, it does. It's just, yeah. Like, I'll find out here in a couple of months when I shotgun the rest of it. But
the end of the second one was just so defeating for me.
It was such a... It was just such
a fucking nonsense. The reveal's going to be like, oh, actually, the teacher killed Rika.
Why not? Why not?
I don't know.
No idea. Higurashi, go to the polls. Exactly. We did that. We did that. John has reached his ideal future, where in a little over a week. He will be playing East 9. Trump is not president. How's it going, Tengu? Welcome. I like how, even though I'm not an affiliate anymore, and I don't have access to any of the bells and whistles. Like, I can't VIP people anymore. Tengu will remain the only VIP in this channel. That's honestly impressive. VIP. That's incredible.
Zelas, he still needs to finish E7.
Yeah,
that's the one thing about my ideal future.
You still need to.
I might be delaying part of that just a little bit, depending on how things go.
Oh, you're not diving into East 9 day 1.
I'm not sure. I have to feel it out. It just depends on how this week goes.
Cool.
I might jump in even without finishing E7. I'm just for the experience.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
I think those games played differently enough that it wouldn't be super weird.
Yeah, like East 9 has it's really different than even East 8. Like, it has a different kind of feel to it altogether. I wasn't expecting it. It kind of threw me off at first. Cool. I wasn't expecting it. Like, it's got a little bit more weight to it.
You said it's a little weightier, right?
Yeah,
definitely.
Cool.
Yeah.
I played 30 seconds of it literally because I already bought it. It's it's fine. I don't have to play the demo.
I've already.
But I was even in those 30 seconds, I was like, "Oh, this is way slower, interesting." Mm-hmm. And then I switched to a girl with a giant axe. I'm
kind of here for that.
There was a girl with a giant axe, and I'm just like, "Oh, okay, I found my main."
There you go. She's really good. She's really fun. She hit things real hard.
Yeah, that's my character. Is small girl, big weapon. And it was almost like defeating, like, oh man, now I like there's nothing to look forward to. I already found my character. 10 seconds into this demo.
It's good. It's good though.
Well, you probably won't be playing as her right away.
No.
Yeah, that's true. Now, yeah,
So you
you're
get to
right.
look forward
Something
to it
to
while
look
playing.
forward to. Well, in the best named dungeon ever, the Cloaca.
Like,
Oh wait, Cloaca Maximum.
Cloaca Maxima.
Named after a real place.
It's
in,
named
you know,
after a real
Rome.
place. Yes, but it hits double for me because a friend of mine, Toad22484, he's a speedrunner. He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
He this past summer, for some reason, we ended up having, like, cloaca became the word to say in his chat. And we spent literally 2 hours on it. He has an emote called the Cloaca Kiss. That's so when I saw that the demo dungeon was named Cloaca Maxima, I just fucking died.
Oh yeah, it's a wonderful name.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I googled it and I saw that picture of a bird just shooting a perfect stream of poop. And I saw that it was just, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. And shared it with like 8 people.
Well, you know,
No
in ancient
explanation.
Rome, when they named the sewer, they were like, "What do we want this thing to do?" And one of them Googled, and they were like, "This.
This is what it needs to do."
We want the poop perfectly flying out of the city like this."
We're gonna be the shittiest vacation destination spot on the fucking planet. Welcome, everyone, to Sockscast, episode 131. I'm your good pal, Polly, as always. How you doing out there? Hope everybody's doing well and getting all settled in. We know that all this cloaca and poop talk up front, that's like, that's the bread and butter, really. That's our bread and butter. That's what pays the bills. That's what gets us those advanced copies of games to play. That's what got us free PS5s around the table. They were like, man, y'all with this high quality shit and cloaca content.
Oh, that's right. I can't play Ys 9 until I play it on a PS5, unfortunately.
Oh, god damn it.
Because it runs 1 frame per second more.
Oh, shit. I mean, that makes all the fucking difference. I mean, that's 1 frame more that you're going to have to flash move or flash guard.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thanks for all that. Welcome, everybody. Hope your cloacas are doing well and they're nice and warm. Hope you've given that cloaca a nice massage today. Let it know it's appreciated. I think that you've got to make a cloaca really feel appreciated, you know? Like, you know
Absolutely.
what? Yeah, John gets it. John, like, what's your preferred method for making sure your cloaca is nice and comfortable?
Long hot bath.
Oh, that'll do it.
Just really letting it luxuriate.
Just let it unfurl.
Just giving it.
Let it lay there,
Yes.
float gently to the surface as water beads and rolls down the sides. Just
Let it extend to its full
let
length.
it extend
across
to
the
its
tub.
full length. Let it glisten in the ambiance of the candlelight. Absolutely, you've got to relax your cloaca by Candlelight is the name of my album coming out this summer.
And I let it expand, and then I let it devour.
Yes. The devouring cloaca. What about you, Rat? What about you, Rat? When you find that you need some prime cloaca time, what's your go-to for getting the cloaca juices flowing?
Oh, obviously, I just go to Taco Bell.
Just go to Taco Bell.
Listen, it's boring. You want to do one thing, and you know, if you need a little help there, they'll get you sorted.
Again.
It sounds like they doubled back so fully. like they were specifically saying, "Hey, we want to give vegetarians more love with our. We're going to backpedal on a lot of those changes because we were really
back
shitty
on
vegetarians."
the menu.
Yeah,
Not till March though.
And your cloaca couldn't be happier.
Not till March.
With tomatoes back, with potatoes back on the menu. It's just, man, they planned that shit right.
I don't fucking know. I mean, the whole McRib thing with McDonald's, I don't really follow it because I'm, not a meat eater, but like, it's gone, it's back, it's gone, it's back. It's like every 6 months, it's just like,
if you like the McRib, you have no fucking taste. You would rather be eating raw sewage. Just admit it. Like, if it were acceptable to go out, pull the manhole cover off of that drain in front of your house, and you could just dive right in and scoop up a nice big handful of raw sewage and shove it in your mouth, you would. If you like the McRib, that's what you ought to be doing. That's not an opinion.
I don't remember the last time I've eaten at McDonald's.
That's not an opinion either.
It's just the truth.
It's just the truth. And that's what people come to this goddamn podcast for. Somebody's got to spit the truth.
For the hard-hitting facts.
Exactly. Somebody's got to spit the fucking truth. Somebody's got to. And I like to think that we're the only ones brave enough to provide our very lucky audience with such a service. To my immediate virtual right, he looks for absolutes, and there's absolutely none. It's Rhett.
Hello. Hey. I wasn't sure if we were going to do the intros because we did the cloaca thing instead.
Oh, do you want to always do you just want to replace intros with bi-weekly checkups on how your cloaca's doing? Yeah, Cloaca Corner. Your wonderful new segment on the Sockscast where you find out how your pals who have cloacas, how that cloaca's doing in 2021.
You ever say something and just instantly regret it?
Just like the words are falling right out, and you were like reaching, but like every syllable slips right through your fingers in slow motion.
This entire podcast so far.
You know what? They all got to be bangers, Rhett. This is a service that we provide to our very lucky listeners at home. They are glad that they tuned in.
How we got the sponsors.
It's how we got all those sponsors.
Imagine if we actually had sponsors and they listened to this.
I'm sure that'd be very... Hey, Extreme Restraints, hit me up. Rhett, you are absolutely ready for a podcast, though, it sounds like.
I guess I am. I'm a little sleepy, to be honest. I was like, oh, right, that's soon, huh? At like 5.
I was hoping this cloaca action would wake you up. Yeah, well, that's what they say. You got to cloaca and wake. Let that one hang in the air for a second.
Oh.
To my immediate virtual left, how far can you invade his scramble system? It's John Byer.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm here.
Doing good.
Doing well. I had a very nice. I actually had a very nice weekend. Mm-hmm. Starting yesterday.
Yeah, like Friday. Yeah, Friday was supposed to be the start of the weekend of John, but fuck you, right? Just that.
Honestly, that's
rough.
That story pissed me off because you worked a Saturday last week, right?
Yeah.
In order to get that day off, and then you got fucked.
Yeah. Just every single.
And I didn't have water for 36 hours.
That's so awful. Man,
yeah, that sucked.
I can imagine as a person with butt problems, that had to be distressing on some level.
It was, especially when at 10 o'clock, because I'd followed their emails, and they said, don't worry, the community bathrooms on the 2nd and 30th floor are both open. And then I went up at 10 o'clock at night, and I saw, and they said, oh, never mind, this one is closed on the 30th floor. And then I went down to the 2nd floor, and I said, don't worry, actually this one is closed too. And I was
what?
Like,
Oh, good.
What the fuck?
Wow, that's real good.
Yeah, that's like...
Yeah, so that was...
that sounds like kind of illegal, honestly.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a thing that happens.
It was unfortunate.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got it back now. So
it's one of those moments where you find the manager's office, and in lieu of there not being a bathroom for you to do your business in, you find his desk, and you kind of just drop it right there for him. Drop some plates.
I went to the Walgreens and I got 2 big bottles of water, used their toilet, and got got a bunch of Gatorade just because I hadn't had Gatorade. I was thirsty, and then I downed like a liter of Gatorade.
And then you got to use the bathroom again. Yeah. John, that sounded like a bad plan.
And then, the bottle was useful later.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if he has no running water, he also does need to drink it. I understand.
I get it, but
yes,
I'm just saying, like, the immediate need for a bathroom, right? And then, like, you solve the problem, but you come home and literally you make another bathroom problem by just drinking so much water.
The real problem was being so much Gatorade. Our sponsors of this week's episode.
Okay, right. Gatorade is the sponsor.
Quench that thirst.
Quench that thirst.
Goes right through you.
Goes right through.
Which is weird. Which, weirdly enough, "Quench that thirst" has been the Sockscast slogan for like 50 episodes.
Yeah, it's just it was
now that we've
like we've been we latched onto it and just like, who knew, right?
So I'm well now because I had a very nice day yesterday and today.
Good.
We can get into that soon.
Good. So who wants to get us started then? We started with John. John, you kicked off the first of the year, didn't you? So, Rhett, you know what, Rhett?
I was thinking, like, not me.
You were thinking not you. And I saw you over there. I saw you thinking. I saw the thought bubble. I saw it pop out from your big dumb head. Said, not me. And I'm like,
not me.
I know what you're doing. You're trying to put the thought into my head to see not me. And you're thinking, ha! I've successfully implanted the thought in the Polly's head. It didn't work. It did not work. I intercepted that fucking transmission, and I'm turning it back on you, bitch.
You intercepted that inception.
Yes. Now
that was such a good one that I had to like jump over you to say it. I hope everyone appreciated it. Like, wait, everybody, stop the podcast so that I can say my thing. Because it sounds the same. It's like interception, inception.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's super hilarious, John.
Cool.
I mean, it's the fucking funniest thing that's ever been said on this fucking podcast.
Okay, good.
Just so everybody's clear, like, nobody's told a better joke than the interception inception one. Man, people are going to be talking about, like, when we do episode 200, it's just going to be a rerun of that one fucking joke because that's the best we have.
Okay, just time mark this for when we do a best of.
Just time mark that.
And actually put this, but then most of the clip is just you dunking on his pun.
What? Dunking on? That sounds like my praise was empty, Rhett. What are you doing? What are you trying to make me out of being here?
Rhett, I'm never dunked on any of our podcasts. My content words are always excellent.
No, like, I only speak in truths. So, Rhett.
So am I going?
Yeah, now that you have...
Yep, it's still your turn.
Now that you have failed in using your inception to intercept. Haha, listen, I just referenced John's very funny joke, Rhett. Do you see what I did there? I did a callback. I did a comedy, everybody. I finally learned.
It's even funnier when you explain it.
It is. It's God, the fucking pinnacle of humor. Rhett, talk about stuff.
Hi.
Talk about stuff. Let's do it.
Captain Toad.
Hey! I know what that is.
Yay! I like this game.
It's a mini game.
I got a rant about this, and it's not the game's fault, but shit happened.
All right, let's do it. Break it down.
So Captain Toad was a game that came out for the Wii U in 2014. I didn't have a Wii U. But I was like, oh, that looks cute. Maybe someday I'll play it somehow.
Did this not start as a mini game?
Yeah, there were mini games in 3D World.
Okay.
So 3D World.
You're correct. But then if they spun it out into a full game.
Yeah. Okay. I was just wanting to make sure I had my lore right there.
Okay. 3D World also on the Wii U, which I didn't have. And I thought, oh, I would like to play that someday. Mm-hmm. So Captain Toad got ported to the Switch in 2018. That was about 3 years ago.
Yeah. Oh,
and
God.
is right about the time that I bought a Switch.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I ain't paying $40 for Captain Toad. I am playing Zelda right now instead.
Yeah.
Obviously. So I never got around to it. And then, like, years passed. Still in the back of my head, I should play Captain Toad someday. I've been following Wario 64 lately, trying to get a fucking PS5 to no avail.
Oh.
And he tweets a lot of deals.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of them just caught my eye, like, oh, Captain Toad is on sale. I'll buy Captain Toad. That seems like the right... I feel like I'm in the mood for it. Mm-hmm. And 3D World is also coming to the Switch very soon. So I was like, oh, I'll do this first, and then that'll get me, a little primed for 3D World.
Mm-hmm.
So I buy it on, like, a Friday. Not 2 days ago, but, like, the Friday before that.
Okay.
On Monday, Wario 64 tweets out, price error. Walmart has Captain Toad for $4.
$4!
Oh.
But I have to imagine, like, they don't honor most of those. Like,
they seem to be honoring them for hours, and I saw that tweet 7 minutes after it went up.
That's because, like, I know that Target is fucked up, and, like, they have redeemed them in the past, and were like, yeah, it's on us. But ever since then, like, a large part of, like, look, it was a pricing error, and we're not honoring this.
I ended up following the thread just because I was a little salty, just a little bit salty, that I'm still bringing it up on the Sockscast like a week later.
Why didn't you order the $4 game and then refund the $36 game?
Because Amazon is like explicitly no refunds.
Really? Because I get refunds. I can get refunds on Amazon like nobody's business. I literally got a refund.
Well, because it redeems on the Switch, and I don't think they have.
Oh, did you? Oh, was this digitally?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I thought you got a digital copy. Okay.
I know, right? Okay. I bought digital on Amazon on Friday, and then on Monday, Walmart had
Jetstorm
digital
got 3 of them.
for $4.
Jetstorm got 3 of them. Brett, Jetstorm ordered 3 copies.
The fuck do you need 3 for? I played it once. I'm good.
He got 3.
Why?
He knew kept honoring it the next day.
He knew that you were gonna get fucked by this the whole time. He knew it, and he was like, "I'm gonna." He's DMing me this right now, and I just want to rub it in that smug prick's face. Wow, Thomas the Jetstorm 4. I'm appalled.
It's just like, I couldn't have known this was going to happen.
Right.
Nintendo games don't go on sale.
They never go on sale.
This wasn't a purposeful thing.
No.
But still extremely salty this 2014 game that got a re-release 4 years later that I still waited another 3 years to pick up happens to have a massive price glitch 2.5 days later. Just like, I waited so long for that moment and blinked right before it happened.
Oh,
it's unbelievable. The game's very cute, though.
Oh, yeah.
It was funny, like, for the first weekend before the price error had happened, I was like, oh, this game's very fun and cute. And then after Monday, I was like,
fuck this video game. I hate it. It's the thing that I hate the most in the world right now.
Well, were you $30 cute or were you $4 cute?
Damn.
So, okay, another funny thing about this game is that they patched it at some point to support Labo VR.
Oh, good. Okay.
Which I actually have.
Oh, God, that's right.
I used it for like an hour when it came out and played like the terrible levels in Mario Odyssey that they did, and then like got motion sick in Zelda, and then Zelda was weird because you didn't have to undock the Switch by accident, so you could hook the PlayStation VR up to it. So I played. So I have a Labo VR. I just basically never actually used it. So it's extremely funny because it's like the second thing on the main menu when you start the game. This like peripheral that Nintendo has basically abandoned at this point.
Yeah, like it's already done.
Yeah. So like you start the game and it's just 2 options, like episode 1 or VR, and it's just like it felt weird having such prominent placement. Yeah. Once you beat the game and like it starts to get pushed down the list, it makes more sense. But, like on a new save file, it was very funny. Because it's funny because there's only 4 VR levels. It's a minuscule fraction of the game is actually playable in VR. And like when you start, that's the thing is like they only did the levels that really worked and like could probably hold the 60 frame rate or whatever. Even though Zelda obviously doesn't even attempt it, like you get motion sick in that immediately. So when you boot the game up for the first time, you just get this little tutorial level where you just walk to the top of this staircase basically, and it's just like a movement and camera tutorial. That's one of the 4 VR levels.
Oh. Good job, guys. You did it.
Yeah. So the first one is just like barely not. I'm pretty sure that's the first one. Maybe I'm misremembering, but so I'm like, okay, this is really cool. It works, and like this is a good fit for VR. Like specifically, like the slightly janky, can't move your head in properly Labo VR.
Mm-hmm.
So I play the next level, and it's like a desert one, and it's a level from the main game that I haven't actually played before, and I'm like, oh, I'm seeing it for the first time in VR. It's really cool. And like the way they have like holes in the buildings so you can see Toad from different angles, and like seeing that stuff in VR is really cool. So I'm like, okay, there's 2 more levels. I want to play them for the first time in VR. So I get a little further in the main game. Oh, the other thing is that I got a little motion sick after just doing those 2 levels.
Oh man.
So I'm like, okay, I want to do those. I want to do the rest of the VR before going to bed, in case I get sick and want to.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Not, feel a little nauseous for an hour.
Yeah.
So I get up on, I guess it would have been Saturday or Sunday. I get up and like the next level I have is the next VR one, and I'm just like in this extremely awkward position of like, oh, the next level is the water one from the VR. Do I not play the game all day, or do I just play the VR version first?
Yeah.
It turns out there was a third option, which is to just start the expansion first. Because in 2019, they just randomly added this DLC, a few DLC levels. Like, hey, it's the Captain Toad expansion. And you know what? It's bad.
Oh, no!
Oh, no!
I don't know what they were doing, but it's mostly co-op focused. But they let you play it single player.
Uh-oh.
And have a pretty bad time.
Oh, you had a bad time.
It's 18 levels. There's 5 new ones.
Oh.
The rest of it are not even reskins, just reused areas where there's only one of 2 types of objectives, which is you grab a crown and then like another crown appears. Like it's the collect 5 thing, like with the star bits.
Yeah.
And if you don't collect the second crown piece in like 5 seconds, you have to start over.
You have to start over, right.
And it's kind of dull.
Boy. Sounds great.
And then and then the other type of level this is the really co-op focused one where you get a multi-mushroom, so there's 2 toads, and then they're all ghost hunting levels, and now the ghosts take 2 flashlights to kill.
Oh, wow.
So it's I could see that being fun in co-op.
Yeah.
But when you're playing by yourself,
just,
both characters move in the exact same direction with the same analog stick.
It's kind of like, hey, I'm
pretty fucking simple to point both in the same direction.
I'm literally just doing the same fucking thing.
So I'm just like, I'm playing this like not realizing, like I hadn't read the reviews and stuff that are like, hey, don't play this by yourself, really. I'm just like, why are there so many of these ghost levels? They're not fun. Oh, okay, I get it now. Oops.
Oh, red dropped.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there he is.
I didn't click anything.
It's okay. It's Discord.
Or it was just like, you're AFK, and I'm like, well, no, I'm not.
Oh. Move your mouse every now and again.
Okay. So I had a bit of a weird experience towards the start of the game, and then once I get further into like beat episode 1 and then episode 2 unlocks, the game's actually really good.
Oh. Okay.
Like,
yay!
I did have a rough start with it just because I think it was a little basic, and then the expansion being like really focused on kind of some of the worst aspects so far. But like the last 2 VR levels were fine. One of them was one of the minecart levels, and I was just because I played that one first in regular, and I was like, why wouldn't they just put this in
Yeah.
VR? And then I looked and it was like, oh, that is one of the okay. So they didn't go entirely in order. But like, yeah, just it's a really
What's
cute
the hook
Carmy
of this game?
Oh my god, it's
What makes this different? I mean, I have one.
Okay,
idea.
go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, it's a platformer where you can't jump.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like you move around these little cube levels and spin the camera around, and you can't jump. So all of your interactions have a completely different feel than usual, like the Mario 3D World levels. That it was a counter.
This is the game. This is a game where Goombas are threatening.
Yeah. Like,
because they still behave exactly like they do in the 3D games, where once they see you, they fucking beeline for you, and they're just barely not as fast as you.
Oh, that's so good.
But then you can if there's a ladder, you can just climb up the ladder and then go back down and just bump into them and kill them.
Later, jackass.
Yeah. So there are ways to defeat enemies, but like obviously without a jump, it's much more.
Yeah, it makes things hard. Yeah, like we did this with Bionic Commando. We took away the jump and things got harder.
Yeah, it's It is funny though when they do like. There's a few levels based on like speed panels where you're just running from lava and stuff. It's like, oh, you are having some like kind of dexterity based platformer levels. It's just you still can't jump. But most of the game is just, hey, it's a puzzle game.
Yeah,
like you're just looking at these diorama levels, trying to figure out like,
how do I
get from there without
the levels
being
are so
jump.
cute.
They're for me, I think the hook of this game is that it's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, like this game is
unbelievably good looking.
Yeah, it's so fucking good looking
for how simple it is and like how 2014. Like it's just when because you can zoom the camera in and just get a really close up look at everything. It's just like this is like shockingly good looking renders for a Switch game or a Mario game.
Yeah.
It is funny how like this game kind of bridges like. I haven't even played 3D World yet, but like because this is based on minigames from 3D World and how Mario Maker 2 has 3D World a theme in it, I almost started to feel like, oh yes, there is like this cohesive Mario aesthetic now, like a modern one.
I think it happened by accident.
I think it happened by accident for sure, but it was kind of funny, like these three games that are all coming from the same place. And then when you beat the game, I think they probably changed the ending. Toad runs after one of the ships from Mario Odyssey.
Oh!
And it goes, to be continued in Mario Odyssey.
Oh.
And then the bonus chapter opens up, and there are 4 levels based on
Odyssey
kingdoms
levels
from Mario Odyssey.
That's kind of cute.
Aw, cute.
Here's the insanely stupid part.
Uh-oh.
The 4 bonus Odyssey levels replace 4 bonus levels in the Wii U version that were based on 3D World.
That is dumb.
Why would you remove content?
I don't know. They removed it from the 3DS and Switch versions. It's like some developer spite. Fuckers didn't buy a Wii U. So we're going to remove just a little slice of it. Yeah.
It's like we were too lazy to add things to a menu, so we're just going to replace the things that those menus link to, or some shit.
It's weird, because, they're in the exact same spot as
it sounds like they literally were just too lazy to make entries on a menu.
But then the levels themselves are, like, really good.
Well, yeah, that's good.
So
it's good. It's good that the bonus levels are good. It's fucking dumb that they took out the originals.
That they removed some stuff.
Oh my!
Because I guess those bonus levels they didn't have diamonds in them, so like there were no optional objectives. It was just kind of get to the end.
Right.
So like they didn't sound like a huge loss, but it's super weird that anything was cut.
Yeah, like why you don't re-release a game and then fucking take shit out?
Yeah.
But this is Nintendo, who is like very notorious for don't play our games the way you want to play them.
Yeah. Also, this game gets delisted on. No, it doesn't actually. But modern Nintendo would be like, yes, and Captain Toad will die on March 31st. You better buy him now, fuckers.
I wonder if they're gonna balk on that, given the fact that Mario.
Nope, they're absolutely.
Mario 35 has at least that took off. Like, it's still really big with a lot of streamers. No.
You're right. It was just an AGDQ.
Yeah, it was just at AGDQ in a primetime spot. So, like, are you really, like, this goddamn tone deaf and shitty? I mean, it's Nintendo, yes.
I guess it's Nintendo, so the answer is yes.
The answer is going to be yes, but... oh, God, this company.
Ugh.
Like, this company, I swear to Christ.
I know, you're right. I had forgotten that Mario 35 was set to die. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, I think those remasters of the HD games, like, at least you'll be able to buy physical copies of that.
Mm-hmm. No, Mario 35 is just going bye-bye.
You're right. I think they should fucking bulk on that. That game's way too popular still.
I'm really wondering if they're going to bulk. Like, as a preservationist, I'm like, please bulk?
Yeah.
Please?
Or it's just, a game player, like, for the people that are still playing it.
Yeah, like, there's a healthy community for it. There's a... You are literally going to kill a huge community just because you are shitty. And no other reason. There's no good reason for it.
It's really bewildering.
So yeah, Captain Toad.
Sounds good. It sounds like a delight.
On the bright side, Captain Toad is really fucking cute.
Yeah. There's a level...
Like, I remember... Go ahead.
It's kind of crazy, though, that the Odyssey levels, there's just 4, and, like, one of them's a minecart level, and one of them is a dash level. So there's only really 2 new collect the 3 diamonds puzzle levels. But the New Dock City one is really good. Because it's, like, the most vertical level in the entire game by far. And, like, you go through a pipe to go down into the subway area, and it just loads a different diorama below the current one.
Wow.
And, like, that kind of camera shift, like, never happens in the main game. You're just like, oh, there's just a second level down here.
Yeah, like, that's an interesting and cool thing.
Yeah, so you go down there, you turn the power on, then you go back up to the city, and then some of the platforms are moving now. It's like, oh, like, yeah, it was significantly kind of more involved than any of the others levels. So that was neat. But then they also put enemies in New Donk City, which is a violation of the canon. Like, there's no enemies in New Donk
City.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. I expected there to be people walking around, and then there's fucking Hammer Brothers.
Hammer Brothers in New Donk City.
So yeah, it's a very cute puzzle game.
I played Mario 3D World, and then shortly after I played Captain Toad, and it was just like 2 really nice platformers that just don't really have any bullshit. They just kind of let you jump in and play, and it's nice.
Yeah.
And that was there. So there was like a little period where like I had played some really cute platformers, some really cute Mario platformers, and the new Zelda had been announced, and it was going to be like this weird open-ended thing where you can go fight Ganon right away. And I was just like, I found the niche in time where I'm kind of a Nintendo fan for a little bit.
And then you didn't like Breath of the Wild because you're crazy.
And I didn't like Breath of the Wild. I didn't like Odyssey. I was like, okay, back to...
Oh, whoops!
I don't like Odyssey either. Like, that game just doesn't click for me.
Even though it is like one of the biggest speedrun games ever, I found out recently. Mario Odyssey.
I mean, the movement tech in that game.
The movement tech is insane. Like, that game in speedrun form looks incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was I have a special place in my heart for
Captain
Toad, I think.
I think it was kind of startling to me when you turned on Nintendo so hard recently, where I did remember that Wii U era where it's like, oh, but John seemed down with them. Like, you even played and made Mario Maker levels.
You made a lot of them, yeah.
Yeah.
6 or 7.
And then you bought the second one and made nothing for me. Nothing. Literally nothing.
I'm so sorry, my dude. I'm just so sorry, my dude.
Couldn't even import the old ones because they didn't, like, allow for that.
Right.
Of course.
Nintendo.
Of course not.
Of course!
I have my nice, good levels, and they are lost to me forever.
Don't worry, they'll be lost to everyone once Mario Maker 1 shuts down.
Don't worry, they're gonna shut it down. It'll be fine.
Woo!
It's just a community. It's just a community.
I mean, at least in that case, there is a sequel. That's
they did get a sequel, but it's but it's still.
Yeah.
There's that. You might have an understanding of why I wasn't feeling super into investing my heart into that new one. Because I kind of had been there. But that was mostly because I lost the Wii U.
Right.
More than anything.
I feel bad. There's that one guy, Brandon Chain Chomp or something, who's been trying to upload his level for like 8,000 hours. A Mario Maker 1 level.
Yeah, like...
Still...
God,
it's like...
he's gonna get it, and then like the next day, Nintendo announces an end to Mario Maker 1 services.
Oh no, they've announced the end.
What?
That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they definitely have announced the end. I think it's actually
didn't.
pretty soon. It might be March 31st, like the other shit.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
That's the thing. Like, yeah, it's definitely. I'm not speaking in.
See, I didn't think that. I thought that this was still hypothetical.
No.
Oh
okay.
my god!
Nintendo announces the Super Mario Makers will be. Yeah, March 31st, 2021. It was announced last November.
Get out of here, Nintendo! Jesus Christ! You are terrible.
That's just the day Mario fucking dies.
Yeah, like, this is the great Mario apocalypse. Jesus!
And then there's this period where it's just like, oh, you made some nice Mario games that I like. It's like there's this time where the image of Nintendo is like, okay, they don't do any of XYZ, but at least they make fun games. And then I play the games, and they're not fun. But then there's this period where... it's like, okay, this is just a cute, simple thing, and it's good. It's good at being what it wants to be, and that's enough for me. Mm-hmm. And I just haven't really done that.
No. It's been a long fucking time since I've wanted to play a Nintendo game.
It's so funny. I look at my Switch library, and it's like all first party Nintendo games.
Yeah. Like
mine is all arcade ports now.
Nice. There you go. Just like, yo, man, I could play Gradius on the Switch.
Nice. Mm-hmm. My Switch home screen.
Go ahead.
Where it's my Switch home screen is like Mario Odyssey, Mario Maker, Mario 3D World,
Mario Kart 8,
3D World is coming out soon. Mario All Stars, and then like. I've got like every single Mario fucking game that they put on this thing, and now Captain Toad.
I'll be joining you in that 3D World adventure.
Yeah, that one actually does come out soon.
Yeah, I'm getting that. So
cool.
I'm gonna be. I really loved 3D Land back in the day. Like that made one of my Game of the Year lists back in like 2012 or something. Mm-hmm. So yeah, like it's fine. It's time for me to finally play that.
Yeah, 3D World builds on 3D Land in a really nice, good way. Yeah. I think it exhaustively explores that space in a way that's nice and fun. Like, in the way it keeps building and building, and it has like fucking 4 different special post-game worlds that just get completely wild hard.
Nice.
It's just delicious.
Good.
Here, can I read some of my Wii U library back in the day, Brett?
Sure. Yeah.
We had Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, Mario Kart 8, Splatoon, which also takes place in the Mario universe, Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario Maker.
Oh my god.
Super Mario Maker and Yoshi's Woolly World.
I have Yoshi's Crafted World.
And then I also had... God. It was just like an ocean of things that are Mario adjacent.
Yeah, like
which is very funny.
That's, like I'm saying, that's pretty much my Switch library too.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Done. I've cleared 5 of the 8 games on my Switch Konami arcade collection.
Hey, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Anything else about Captain Toad?
I guess the one thing that kind of bugged me about Captain Toad is that I still felt it sometimes its roots as a mini game, or sometimes a lot of the levels are like you finish it and go, okay, that was cute, but like not super satisfying. And it's one of those things where I think like more theming of the worlds would have gone a long way to making it feel like an adventure instead of just it's so random, just like you have no idea what's coming up next. And sometimes that works where it's like, oh, now there's a Donkey Kong themed level, like with the arcade music, and that's really cute.
That's cool.
But like a lot of the time where it's just like, okay, now you're in a desert, now you're in a jungle, now you're in space. It's just like it's a little too chaotic.
To really feel like it maybe could have used a bit of consistency.
Yeah, but that's kind of Nintendo in general. Is they don't want to have
they want
that kind of stuff.
They don't want
Theming.
any kind of theming, like anything that might come close to resembling a theme or a story. And Shigeru Miyamoto literally has to be airlifted to the next to the nearest immediate hospital because he's gone into coronary shock. Somebody mentioned the word.
They make fun games.
Somebody mentioned the word story once, and the dude had to be fucking carted out on a stretcher. It's ridiculous.
That's
That's Captain Toad.
I feel bad at how much Captain Toad. I feel bad at how much the Captain Toad section became the Nintendo hate section because it is so nice.
No, I mean,
I think Nintendo got a lot of love here because we did talk up a lot of the good things. So it's fine. It's fine. So
I feel like Nintendo is Nintendo. You're not going to change their mind.
Yeah, like that's
you kind of know what you're getting into with them at this point. They're weird, but they're a known weird quantity. But I think the game delisting stuff fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Just there's no excuse. You can't rationalize it at all.
Like it was really just seeing that Mario 35 thing at AGDQ, and like truly not remembering that game was set to die because it has taken so much, and like having this honest like, oh no moment of like, wait, are they? Like that a little distressing.
Yeah. Most distressing game of 2020.
I just got Raven's joke in the chat. We didn't listen when they released Mario Run. It was a hint that they were going to pull a Logan's Run.
That's pretty good.
So Mario 35 set to die carousel.
That's pretty good. Right, who's going next?
Mario Maker is dying too.
What is okay? The intensity in the final match of Mario 35, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Where once you die forever.
Yeah.
The game is deleted. It's worth it just for that.
Just for that one moment. The most inconsequential Mario play ever.
The final person gets a physical copy of the game.
Only they can have it. If they try and copy it, Doug Bowser comes to their house and actually shoots them in the back of the head.
Now I want them to do like a Mario 35 tournament that is just like single elimination, all players involved. Okay. John, what's next?
Good. Yeah? Well, I've just got one little thing. One little cute thing. Just, we talk about fun games here.
I'm going to talk about
a fun
things.
game.
Yeah.
Talk about games that are fun.
Exactly.
So last time I had played through all of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, well, this is the end of my action binge.
Yeah, there's no more Doom.
Bring it down.
There's no more Doom. Mm-hmm. It's over. Like, what more? What can you do?
Well, I thought that I'd finished Doom, but it turns out there's actually quite a lot of Doom out there.
Wait,
y'all didn't know.
Wait, what? They made more than one.
Yeah,
Doom?
there's more than just Doom.
There's more than.
There's a Doom 2.
What?
Huh.
What? Is it like
also,
a fan? Is it a
fan
game or something? Or?
But that's not even what I played. They re-released Doom called the Ultimate Doom, and they put a 4th episode in there. And it's just right there in the game. Huh. And that's it. There isn't any more than that. But it's still a lot more than I expected, so that's exciting. So what I did, and it took me like 2 fucking weeks, was beat the 4th episode of Doom, Thy Flesh Consumed.
Oh, man.
Because this episode is really, really fucking hard.
Oh,
as it turns out.
Like I love that when people crash from episode, like when you see first timers play through through Ultimate Doom, and they hit that like they finished episode 3 and they jumped to 4, not knowing that it was released after Doom 2, where their map making chops were just ridiculous. So that like all of that knowledge backported to Doom 1 and an entirely new episode. These levels are fucking devious.
oh, they are devious. The first one starts off, and it's so compact. The very first episode, the very first level, okay, your pistol starts, and then so many enemies crammed into like this little area, and then you just walk to a certain part of the map that you need to walk to, and then more start teleporting in.
Yeah.
And then you walk, and you finally get to the key, and then you walk around, and then a Baron of Hell teleports in behind you.
And this is from a pistol start.
From a pistol start, and again, that was the boss of the first
episode.
Were two Baron of Hells.
There were two Barons of Hell,
and you fight them on their own with nothing else.
They're
they keep spawning in more.
They're a much more common enemy when you jump up to ultra violence from episode 2 on. Just so you're aware.
Oh boy!
Like they're not
good.
Barons of Hell are not rare enemies once you jump up to ultra violence.
That's good to know. Mm-hmm. I will say, like, Doom episodes 1 through 3, I thought they were pretty easy. Like the way I just played it was I did it without saving.
Yeah,
If I died, then I would start the level over from a pistol.
Yeah.
And then if I just beat the level without dying, then I'd be like, all right. I know. I think the challenge run that sounds most satisfying to me would probably be, as like an end goal, would be ultra violence pistol starts.
Woo! Woo! That's a mighty tall order.
I don't know, because pistol starts in vanilla Doom was pretty easy. Like I got through it pretty quickly. I chewed through a lot of those episodes, even when I had to do it from scratch, in like 2 or 3 days.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying ultraviolence is a kick up.
Mm-hmm. The thing I can imagine being tedious is if it's just, well, now you don't have enough ammo and now you have to punch everything. And I suspect that a lot of it comes down to that, and I'm going to have to think about if that's something I want to do.
Some of it comes down to that. It's mostly just, hey, like, these enemy placements are very mean.
See, that sounds great. I'm so here for that. And like, okay, be very thoughtful about your ammo consumption.
Yeah, like I maybe want to worry a little more about where I'm spending those rockets.
Mm-hmm. So that's the dream.
Right.
For regular Doom. Then I jumped up to this one and I was like, oh, this is a kick in the balls. Because I thought the first mission was really hard, and I was like, okay, I've adjusted. And then the second mission took me like almost 2 hours or something over multiple days. For just the one mission. And I like knew that, and I just knew that mission. So those maps so closely. I found a bunch of the secrets, and I was just, because I just kept playing it without saving, and it was like 12 minutes long if you're like meticulously killing enemies, and then also because you're killing Hell Barons with a shotgun, so you're like, okay, I'm gonna get in a safe spot and then snipe this guy with a shotgun for 20 hits from across the room.
John, no, don't do that.
No,
don't play with a shotgun like that. Don't do that. Dude, Barons of Hell, they're deceptive. Like, they're not a hard enemy. Just strafe around them and keep your shotgun on. That's all you got to do. They'll go down in 4 to 7 hits, depending on how the pellets come out, because the pellet spread on the shotgun and the ways that damage gets calculated is a little random, but it takes 4 to 7 shotgun shells to take down a Baron of Hell.
Okay.
Don't do that from a distance.
That's good to know.
Also,
that makes a lot more sense.
Also, don't hold. A lot of people make this mistake. When you get the chain gun, fire it in bursts. Don't fire it continuously, because it starts losing accuracy over time.
Interesting.
Burst fire that sumbitch. Burst fire it. You'll save a lot of ammo that way.
For when.
Those are two tips that will probably save you a lot of ammo going forward.
Mm-hmm. I like that a lot. Now, circle strafing around Hell Barons while they are on tiny walkways over lava, not the most helpful advice out there.
That's just something you get used to doing the more you play. Like, I've played Doom forever, so like I can circle strafe on really tight footing. But if you were trying to snipe at Barons of Hell on flat ground from like 20,000 years away. No, get up in that guy's face. Just give it to him. Don't be afraid. Don't let him push you back.
Because that's the most tedious thing, is like figuring out, okay, it seems like I have to play this slow now.
No.
But if there's a way to speed up those encounters, that's good.
Go get in there. Get in there and strafe. Like, just time your movement. Like, you see them, that like, they'll hold their arm up, and you see their arm go forward, you are moving to the right. That fireball is not going to hit you.
Mm-hmm. And then just do that when there are 3 of them on the same small walkway.
Yeah! Easy peasy.
Just do that. Okay, I'll just do that.
We'll get you rocket. We'll get you. You can just skip him entirely by rocket jumping, John. It's fine.
Okay, of course. Easy game for babies. I don't know why I got so caught up on this. So I'm at the end of this 12-minute fucking level, and then a cyber demon pops up and it starts stomping everywhere.
It's so good.
Like, I don't know how to deal with this.
How do you
Why
deal
are you doing
with
this to me?
Cyber demon is just a normal enemy after episode 3.
I know. That is the big baddie boss from the end of episode 2.
Yep.
And honestly, it's the most climactic boss fight in the vanilla game, probably. Yep. Fuck me. So I get through that, and then I breeze through the next like 3 levels. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, okay, I know this game. I'm fine. I just take it slow. I made it through the levels. I shot everything. I found secrets. I had all my nice weapons, and then I got to E4M6, which is another one where you have to run across lava, and it is very unlike the climactic mission of episode 3. It is very stingy with suits that let you run across lava harmlessly. So I ended multiple like 10-minute runs of this mission by like, well, I don't have any suits. Let's make a run for it. I'm going to die now, and then I die. And then I keep going, and then I get to the end of this mission, and then there's a cyber demon in this mission too, and you have to fight it while not falling in lava, and it's like 12 minutes of level. I like got it down to a science, was getting through this level. It takes like 12 minutes. I found every secret in the level. I found the BFG, I found the invulnerability sphere, and I still died like 3 times to the cyber demon at the end. And then, unlike this one, you have to kill the cyber demon if you want to progress. And then I open the mission, and then a pinky demon rushes at me, and I'm like,
nice!
Oh, thanks, kill. And I killed it. Just like, okay, yeah, this is the level that needed that. Thank you. Little fucking pinky demon there.
They're such a nothing enemy, but they can catch you off guard.
It's so funny. Oh my god. And then I did get through the last 2 levels pretty quickly. The last level has like a very long gauntlet of regular enemies, and then you fight 2 spider demons, which I thought was a fun culmination. Because Vanilla Doom was pretty easy, I found a lot of joy in playing, well, basically kind of felt like a Lost Levels version of Doom.
Basically, like, what that is. You know, like, if that's kind of like, if you're just going from episode 3 into episode 4, it basically is that kind of same experience, I think.
Mm-hmm. Just like, I think use the right word, it's devious.
Oh, yeah.
And it's much more strict. And I think where you really have to, instead of just kind of wandering the dungeon mazes, shooting enemies and finding your way through, most of the maps in episode 4 you are going to plot out the absolute correct path. You're going to find the ammunition that you need. You've got this gun here. You're going to wait to use this suit until you got to this point, and then you're going to use this invulnerability sphere at this point. And it was very thoughtful. Mm-hmm. And in some ways, it was probably the most fun I had with the game was this episode.
Nice.
I think I mentioned, like, it doesn't feel like a thematic culmination the way Inferno does.
No.
So it definitely feels like it belongs as kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
But I deeply enjoyed it. As much as it pissed me off over and over, I had a great fucking time with it. God.
Yeah, like, that's Doom, baby.
I really fucking love Doom, y'all. Yep.
Doom is.
I did
pretty
start
good.
Doom 2. I did start Doom 2.
Mm-hmm.
About 8 missions in, and that one starts off like, oh, okay, it's more Doom. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. And then the way that game shows its hand is so fun. Because you get to the point where you where the way they introduce 2 of the new enemies is where it's just one big map, and I don't even know their names yet. There's mini spider demons, and then the mission after that where there are basically armies of imps. And there's one mission where there is an army of like 20 or 30 hell barons with a cyber demon behind it, and you walk into the room and you immediately see rocket launcher, 2 invulnerability spheres.
Have fun. Have fun.
And it's like, but it's not quite enough. You still have to be thoughtful because you need those rocket launcher things for other missions down the line. You want to be thoughtful and try to kill as many of them with infighting as you can.
There you go. That's the whole. Like, people don't utilize infighting a lot as much as they should in Doom, or they would be a lot more successful. Strafing around enemies, getting them pissed off at each other, and then letting them thin their own numbers out is super vital, especially in maps like that.
Especially in Doom 2's armies there.
Oh, yeah.
So the way that, like I said, the way it shows its hand is very funny to me. And I'm really excited to see where the rest of it goes. I think I know that I've read enough discourse about Doom and Doom episodes and Doom level designs to kind of have some preconceptions on how Doom 2 evolves from Doom 1 or devolves. So I'm interested. I'm excited to see how it kind of shapes up from my perspective.
Yeah.
So far, I think it's pretty fun. It does introduce chain gunners.
Chain gunners are like the surefire way to add difficulty. Every Doom modder to add difficulty. I want to add instant difficulty to your map. Add chain gunners. There you go. Instant fucking hit scan enemies that as soon as they appear, they just fucking hose you.
And then because the 2 weakest enemies in Doom 1 are the only hit scan enemies outside of the spider demon.
Yeah,
you only see one of.
Yeah,
so it's fine.
There's shotgunners and there's guys with rifles, and it's just like, oh, cool, not a problem. But then the chain gunners come.
Everything's stronger than.
Yeah.
Everything's stronger than the shotgunner has a weight on the projectile.
Yeah.
But then Doom 2 is like, we're gonna have these bad boys.
Oh, they're so bad. Oh, I hate them so much.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I see.
And they are not afraid to they are not afraid to throw globs of them at you.
Super shotgun feels real good.
Oh, fucking yeah, it does. Super shotgun
feels real good.
Super shotgun is the shit. Good God.
Because regular shotgun is already the most fun weapon for me.
Yeah.
It hits a lot of enemies in like one hit. And when you land it, it's so satisfying.
Oh, yeah.
I did most of my playing just like, I'll save the other weapons and I'll default to the shotgun. And then once you get to Doom 2, and it's like, okay, so they're introducing bigger, meaner enemies. They're introducing a lot more kind of Hellbaron-esque enemies, like the Revenants. And
Revenants! Fucking, oh man. Yeah. You got some more...
Cool design.
Yeah, there are a lot of good... I like the new enemies they added for Doom 2. They're good stuff.
Yeah, I like them too. Outside the chain.
Beside the chain gun. Yeah. Revenants are great. Archviles. Wait till you meet Archviles.
Are Archviles the really big fat ones with the big projectile weapons?
No.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Archviles play by a different rule set that is just like, this is gonna suck. Oh yeah, pain elementals are garbage too. Fuck pain elementals. God, they're so bad.
Oh, are they the one that vomit out
They vomit out lost souls. They vomit out lost souls, and they explode when they die. And the explosion is as strong as a rocket launcher, so you can't be close to them.
Oof.
They're so
mean. And they generally
mean.
shoot out one more.
Yeah, and they shoot out 1 to 3 more lost souls when they die.
Yeah. There's like one room in Doom 1 where you get a BFG and then it locks you in a room with infinitely spawning or seemingly infinitely spawning pinkies, and that killed me the first time, and it's right before the exit. And I was like, oh.
A lot of people use
like the only infinitely spawning bit.
A lot of people use the BFG wrong too. They don't pay attention to how the tracers on that weapon work. But what you want to do is you want to hit something and keep like your field of view trained on what you're going to hit, because the ray of the BFG, it hits the first target and then shoots out like 16 rays outward in the direction you're looking. So always keep the things that you want to kill on screen, because that's how the ray works.
Cool.
There you go.
Good to know.
Look at you. Look, I've made you a Doom Master.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So the other Doom after Doom 2, I lied, there's more Doom.
What?
There's master levels for Doom 2.
Oh, fuck the master levels. Those are miserable. I hate the master levels. They are just exercises in tedium and pain.
There is Final Doom. And this is the one that gets a lot of, I think, attention from like the artsy-fartsy.
Yeah, Final Doom. I also am not a big fan of Final Doom.
It's TNT Evolution and the Plutonia Experiment.
Yeah, those were WADs created by the two separate teams, and then like id bought them and kind of made them into one like game.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, Plutonia is fucking
fan
misery.
Packs, so the way it sounds to me is that if episode 4 is the Lost Levels Doom, it sounds like Plutonia is more like I want to be the guy Doom.
Yeah, like there's just a lot of like, there's no fucking way I could have saw that coming. Back to the start. Let's do it again. Oh, cool. The monster closets are just always at my back, and there's always chain gunners in them. Fantastic.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. It was just chain gunners popping up out of closets was what I heard people complaining about.
Yeah, like you get, there's so many instances of where you will cross a line, you will hear a door, it's behind you, and it's a chain gunner, and you're dead. Like that's the scariest sound in Doom 2 is when you are walking and you randomly hear, uh-oh, a door opened, I'm fucked.
There's so much. All right, so I said there's Doom 64, of course, and I think that's it. All of them was Doom Episode 4, Final Doom, Master Levels Doom 2, Doom 64. So that is the complete official loadout until you and then you get to Doom 3 Resurrection.
And then they skip a few, and then there's Doom 64.
Yeah. Doom 64 is cool. It's a little like, I think it can be a little boring at times, because they axed a few enemy types because they couldn't fit them in. So it kind of like it takes a bit of the edge, but like the level design and what they were able to do with lighting and that engine, they were doing things with that engine and the way that they programmed it at the time that it was a technological marvel, and it was weird that it was just like in 1997 Doom is like a technical touchstone again. That was so weird.
Cool.
But that's a great game. I love Doom. I love Doom 64. So.
Yeah, and it's on Steam now, right?
Yeah, it's $4. Like, there's no reason not to.
That's crazy.
I'll probably go grab that.
That must feel so different from the N64.
Yeah, it definitely does. Having played this game and owning it, I'm playing it on a controller for a number of years. It was like, yeah, this was a very hard video game. But it was designed with that in mind as well, so the enemies don't react quite as fast. Like they took that note from the PlayStation version, where enemies they're not as aggressive, and like when they spot you, they don't immediately attack you. There's like a small grace period kind of built into the design, knowing that somebody with a controller is not going to be as adept as somebody with a mouse and keyboard. So yeah, I think it's still smart.
Yeah, I think it seems like Doom 2, maybe Master Levels, definitely Plutonia. It seems like they go farther in the direction of weird Episode 4, weird, taxing, dense combat gauntlets.
And like, just really convoluted progress through levels at times. It's just what I don't know how I would to think of, like, some of the logic behind some of those later Doom 2 levels, and especially like when you get into Platonia and shit. I'm just like, this isn't fun because I'm completely lost, and nothing you're doing with the level design is helping me figure out what I need to do.
Gotcha. Yeah, the only thing I run into with that in Doom 2 is when I know I need to lower a platform to get to this key, and there's a switch, and the switch seems to do nothing. And then on the floor next to the switch is an unmarked small box, and then it turns out the solution was to step on top of the small box, and that lowered... That's a line...
There's a line definition there that you have to cross. Like, that's the thing. Like, you start... Like, when you play Doom, you start learning about things like, what's a line def? And it's like, oh, okay. That's what's causing things to happen now, is it's just this invisible switch that I walked past that made a thing happen. Always listen for, like, something that sounds like a door opening, because it's either a door opened, a wall moved, or a platform shifted.
So that's all of the Doom that's out there. And once I've run out of that, then there's no more
There's
Doom.
no more Doom. No more. That's it.
Yeah.
No more Doom, and then no more first-person shooters in this style. It's pretty much just Doom, and then
It's very weird.
Understand it.
It's very weird. Yeah, like you went from Doom.
Oh, I guess there's Dusk. That's it.
Yeah, Dusk is pretty good, but it's just riffing on Doom. Because then like we had Doom, and it was a first-person shooter, and then we had Call of Duty, and like what the fuck? Boom! Like it's a total.
Wait, y'all forgot GoldenEye, obviously.
What's that?
And Halo. There's other first-person shooters.
Right. What are you talking about? I like this weird alternate reality you're trying to make up. It sounds fun, but...
You mean like Nightfire? 007 Nightfire for GameCube? That came out after
that was
Call of Duty.
That came out of Call of Duty, though, so...
Yeah. So I can see a future where I spiral out from Doom into Wolfenstein and into other cool DOS stuff. And that's a very bright and nice future. But that wasn't the future that I went down for the rest of my week. But we can go over
We'll go over that.
Next section.
That'll be fun. Cool.
Fun.
I also... Oh, and I finally learned... I played a little bit more Mushihime-sama. And this was just really nice because I got to a point where there was like rings of bullets getting shot at you, and the first time I got there and the 10th time I got there, I was like, this is impossible. There's no way to dodge this. There's no way to see this coming. It's all chance.
Like why are the bullets so fast?
I know. And then like 20th try or so, it's like, are they moving slower? What's going on?
Rank.
And I was on training in the same rank. It wasn't rank. It was they just looked a little slower to me.
Well,
I was that familiar with them.
Is this one of those where it's got like 5 different versions of the game?
I was playing on the exact same training mode at the exact same rank. I promise.
No. See, like there are like 5 versions of Mushihime-sama, and is this the?
I'm playing the.
Because one of them, one of the versions is literally bullets are 20% faster. That's the thing we did. One of the versions is just.
I'm playing. There's 1.0, there's a ranged, there's 1.5. I'm playing 1.0 original.
Okay. Because I know one of those versions is literally...
I'm pretty sure I'm playing the...
Okay.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm playing as close to the arcade version as possible. And I learned a bunch of level 4, too. And it's like, I'm only 3 hours of playtime, and I feel like I've learned a big chunk of this game, and that's exciting.
Because like level 4 is basically, like you get to level 3, and that's basically where cave shooters stop being fun.
No, it's cool because most of it is just you got to figure out how to aim the enemies and manage the enemies. It is mostly not just like level 3. There's like 2 or 3 parts where there's just a very fast bullet pattern,
right?
To dodge. For the most part, it's just I need to figure out where to move my character to get these aim bullets going where I want them to. Where I can also be shooting the enemies down. And it's the same basic interaction as in like a lot of Toho stuff and whatnot. It's just a lot faster and stricter where if it seems like you're in an impossible situation, the solution is probably just adjust your play up to that point so that you don't get into that situation, as opposed to it just being...
Just don't be stupid.
Yeah, as opposed just learning how to stream, basically, in certain ways.
I mean, look, like, it's a
really
shooter. You have
it.
to learn it. Like, as much as people want to, like, big dick on the internet about, oh, I want to see Seeded in 2 hours. Man, shut up. Most people got to learn these games. These games have to be learned. It's going to take hours to figure out stages 1 through 6. Not everybody's going to be able to do it start to finish. Like, it's like, come on. Like, it's fine. You're doing okay.
Yeah, I'm just poking through it, and it's just narrowing it down to, like, okay, what is the hard part?
Mm-hmm.
And then focusing on that, and like focusing on figuring out what the problem is.
Yeah.
And then learning the rest of that around that, and then stringing it all together down the line. I don't know how hard. I've seen all of stages 1 through 4 now, and stage 5 is the last one.
Yeah.
So how hard the whole thing is going to be is kind of come down to that. But it's fun because I'm playing a cave shooter, and I'm actually engaging with it. I haven't really done that much, so...
Like, cave shooters just kind of end up feeling a little too uniform and samey to me. I just cannot click with them for some reason.
Well, this is the first time... I did play a bunch of Dodonpachi like 10 years ago.
Yeah, like, Dodonpachi is like the one. Dodonpachi is like the one.
But there's a good song in level 4. I like the bug aesthetic. The third level is all one big. You're fighting. It's one big battleship level. It's that.
That is a very good shmup trope.
The best.
It's a very good.
Yeah,
shmup
like
trope,
the one stage, the entire stage is a battleship. That is always going to be a jam.
Mm-hmm. And it rules in this one too. And it feels like there's more of a progression than there was in Dodonpachi, which felt like 6 levels that felt the same.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Mushihime-sama doesn't feel like that, and just poking at all the others, they at the very least have a lot of wildly different soundscapes, sound moods.
Oh yeah,
like Danganronpa, I think, has like, I don't know, a disco mood.
Yeah,
basically. It's really cool.
I think that cave games are really good at having unique identities. Like, they are so good at giving their games like a unique feel and sense of place, sense of character. Like, they're also wildly different.
Yeah. And I don't think you get that impression from Dodonpachi as much, because that's maybe one of the most samey.
Yeah, it's very like, hey, I'm a military shooter kind of thingy. Here's planes and tanks. I'm Ghost Pilot, basically. Versus we're psychic school children, or we're a bug. We're riding on a beetle, shooting bugs. Yeah.
Or it's disco in space.
I want to get back to
or whatever the hell Ketsui's doing by being just the most intimidating presence.
Who the fuck developed Mars
in the universe?
Who the fuck developed Mars Matrix?
Mars Matrix was not Cave. I don't know.
No, it wasn't Cave, but man, they did some cool shit. That's a game I need to 1cc.
No, I've never touched. It's Takumi who
Takumi. Okay.
They've done a lot of stuff, but Takumi seems like one of the ones that people that really like Cave really like.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is feels like the entry point that I was waiting for, because I've dabbled with Dodonpachi, I dabbled with Ketsui, and now it's like
right.
Oh, I'm clicking with one of these finally.
Gigawang.
So basically, Action Binge is over. This is just the last spurts of that from death. It's like, okay, here's the little epilogue. It's in its twilight years of the holiday Action Binge.
Yeah.
Week 7. No, more like week 5. So I'm having a good time.
Cool.
And that's my segment.
Nice. I got a segment.
Polly.
I got a segment that fits right into this this conversation. Like we did not plan this. It just happened. Boom. Played me a shmup. I know. I said
Yay.
that like the last time we were together, I'd kind of felt like I had reached the end of my shmup things. But I was just like, as I was going around and clearing out my hard drive, because I was like, I'm done with these for now, so I'm gonna uninstall. I still had one. Like I got to the end of the list and was like, wait a minute, I didn't play that one. Holy crap!
Ooh.
I need to go play this thing. I need to play this here shmup, because if I don't, it's gonna be sad. It's going back to the pile. I don't want to send it back to the pile and make
Nobody
it cry.
wants to go back to the pile.
Not back to the pile. I can't send you back to the pile. You got a cute little girl on your title screen, everything. I ain't gonna make her cry. I can't do that. Don't put that blood on her.
That narrows it down.
There you
could
go. So I played a Toho fan game.
Ooh.
Played a Toho fan game called Ephemeral Unnatural Balance.
Huh.
This is a fan game. This was gifted to me by Gash86 in 2019 for Christmas, I think. So, big thanks to our good pal in Germany, who's always there. He's always got the Toho Rex. If you need some Toho Rex, that boy's got you some Toho Rex.
I am in awe of his ability to basically only play Toho fan games.
Real good. That or just mod whatever he's playing into a Toho game. Like I know he does that with Civ.
I did that too. Civ is very.
Has he played? Has he played Doom Toho?
Probably. It would not surprise me. So this is a fan game. I think that originated on the ShrineMaiden.org forums, and I think it took a team like 6 years to make. The first prototype was in 2014.
What's it called one more time?
Ephemeral Unnatural Balance.
Okay.
It was made in Danmakufu, which is a game-making engine that lets you make your own Danmaku games. And it's the first Danmakufu game to appear on Steam. So, it's just breaking all kinds of barriers. But this is a Toho game where the idea that they had making it was, we want to make a game that's just all of the unnamed mid-boss characters in all the Toho games. We just want to be all of these nameless nobody characters. But I guess at some point they got to a point to where I guess there aren't as many of those as we thought, so we need to kind of play around with the idea a little more. But it still sticks to this idea of mostly like weaker bosses and unnamed mid-bosses. And the story is that the balance in Gensokyo has shifted, and for some reason, all of these weak characters are now actually the strongest and most dangerous characters in Gensokyo. So, like, Cherno is finally the strongest.
No, Sharna.
Except she's not. Except she's not. Because nameless mid bosses are the stronger ones, if we will remember. So Cherno is the mid boss of her own stage, while Daiose is the main boss. So it's a real cool idea, but they play and riff on this story. And you got we got 3 playable characters. Rhett, I'm gonna test your Toho knowledge.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna name a character, and I want to see if you know them. Kasen Ibaraki.
Yes.
Okay.
She's the pink hair Oni with only one arm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, she is a playable in this game, and she's the character that I only know from Labyrinth of Toho 2, because she was a backbone of my party for the entire game.
She started in one of the manga.
Yeah.
I don't think she's really been in official games.
Yeah, so that's kind of like where you're getting at. Okay, Renosuke Morichika.
Yeah, he's the shopkeeper dude.
He's the only guy in Gensokyo.
And that.
I posted a fun little video.
Apparently he is not actually playable.
He's not actually playable. It's some other character. I forgot her name because I did not play as her. I got to that scene and I chose to play as Renosuke. I saw that scene, literally fell out of my chair laughing because I did not. I wasn't expecting it. Because
you generally thought there were 3 playable characters.
I genuinely thought they were going to let you play as Renosuke because Labyrinth of Toho, like, they have Renosuke in the party. So I was like, okay, fine. Like, fan games use Renosuke. And then, no, he just gets fucking blown the fuck out of the goddamn game 10 seconds in. It's great. But there's another character. I can't remember who she is.
I need to look it up, but it's...
But, okay, another character. Rin Satsuki.
Oh my god. Okay, I think this was a character that was going to be in Embodiment of Scarlet Devil and got cut.
Good job. So those that's
shit.
So yeah, like Kasen and Rin Satsuki are like the 2 main characters that I played as, and then there's another character who I literally can't remember. Like I don't know that I even played her. So I can't remember her name. So this is basically just a really solid, hey, we like the thing that Zune does and we want to make our own. And it's got like this cool twist and they're putting a lot of character into it. The art is really fucking cute. I really love their character designs. Like they reworked some characters. Like there's a really cute Momiji design.
I love this Momiji.
Yeah, the Momiji they made. Like she's masked up a little bit. So it's very, very cute. But it's like, hey, we made a really solid one of these. So every Toho game's got like a gimmick. Like it's gonna be like, here's how you score, or here's a different way to like power up and stuff. So this game's got its own, and it's one of the most satisfying ones because it's so well balanced. Like they really, really thought out this gimmick. The gimmick is Discord. And do either of you kind of remember like 10 Desires trance mode kind of thing, where like you would go into a trance?
Yes.
And
that sounds right.
And it's just like, but this is like 250,000 times cooler than trance. So you collect point pickups from killing enemies, and that raises a special gauge, and it passively, like, it does things like it increases your pickup point values, and it lowers the point of collection on the screen, so you can go up to like 30% of the screen and suck everything in, instead of having to go up to like 80%, the top 20% of the screen. Like, cool. you can get it down pretty low so that you never have to make any kind of risky maneuvers to like do a lot of scoring. So you can see that this is like a gimmick that's leaning really heavy into scoring. So when you're above 40% Discord, you can activate Discord mode, which turns the screen colors inverse. You can actually turn that off if it's annoying. I think I think it makes things a little too hard to see. And what that does is it deletes bullets immediately within your vicinity. It doubles your shot power. And the longer that you are in this mode, and it's cumulative, so even when it's off, like, you still retain the progress, you build life pieces the longer that you're in it. So, like, anytime you pop out, if you've accumulated life pieces, which, like, that's how you gain extra lives in Toho games now, is you basically build your extra lives. It starts out at, like, 4, and then you need 6 for your next life, and then 10. But this is a way that, like, the longer you stay in this mode, like, you can build up to 3 at a time, and then as soon as you pop out, then, like, 3 will just pop out of your character, and you just go grab them.
Nice.
So, it auto bombs on death at the cost of 2 bombs, even if you only have 1 bomb. So nice. it's a very powerful tool. The downsides, and I think the downsides make it interesting, are that enemy bullet speed goes up by about 20%.
Oh.
The patterns of the bullets fired at you also change, as do bullet types. So, like, say some patterns have those annoying little pellet bullets. Those little fuckers suck. I don't know if I'm the only one that thinks, but there's these little fucking rice pellet bullets. They're super tiny. They're like 3x3. They're annoying little pieces of shit. But if you run into a pattern that has those, you can pop Discord, and as the enemy sends out its next wave, it might be a better bullet type that you can deal with or know how to stream through better. So you can actually like it's not always a detriment to have to deal with faster moving bullets. Unlike trance, you can also deactivate it. So, but you have to. So it's you can deactivate it either by bombing, which gets you out of it immediately, or 3 seconds, and then you can pop out of it for no cost at all. So it's this constant like back and forth of hopping in and out of Discord that like it's how you build your life pool. It's how you run the score up. It's how you can change patterns. Like it's worth doing patterns out of Discord and in Discord to see how they change, because the bullet types or the way the patterns work, like faster bullets through some patterns might actually make the pattern easier to deal with, and you can sort of tailor the game to your own strengths and weaknesses. And I just found that super it's super engaging. Like you're always kind of wanting to play with this, and I think the thing with Toho gimmicks is like I rarely want to play with the gimmicks because they're either convoluted or entirely based on score, and I don't really play Toho games for score that much.
Yeah.
Or they're just too convoluted to fart with. Or they don't really add much. Whereas this is just kind of like you're actively building, other than something like the UFOs, because the UFO system is like, it's like, that's a really smart system for doing what they need. You know? So, but this feels similarly thought out, where you're actively rewarded for engaging with it as much as you possibly can, because there's like spell card bonuses for finishing patterns in Discord mode, which again grants you extra bomb pieces and life points. It's just constantly like giving you the incentive to play with its gimmick in meaningful ways, and to play around with bosses, and to play around with parts of stages to see like what works in Discord, what doesn't. Okay, like is this a place like maybe like I can run my lives up in the first half and not have to rely on it so much in the second half, and that way I only have to use it to like erase bullets and panic bomb if I have to. But this is just super fucking well put together. It's a really smart fan game that gets what this series is, from its tone, from the way it's written, from the bullet patterns, from the and there's some really, really good boss encounters in this game that are gimmicky in really fun shmuppy ways. They play with the like the general idea of Toho bosses. They don't all always follow the same format. Like there's some playing around with them that's really interesting. Like the Daiose fight in particular is really interesting. How it's just like I don't think I've seen Toho do that. And then like Momiji and Aya have a spell card together that I was just like, oh my god, you're killing me. They literally are husband and wife. But it's so good. It's so good. Man, like this is just as good as any official mainline Toho game, I think. And I think that I enjoy this more than I have pretty much any actual Toho release, like in the last 5 years. God, when's the last time I legitimately enjoyed a Toho game?
Did you legitimately enjoy UFO at least?
That's kind of the cutoff for me. UFO is really hard for me to play because it's too busy for my eyes. I love what it's doing.
Great Fairy Wars.
Yeah, Great Fairy Wars is probably the last one I played.
That's after UFO, so that's probably the cutoff.
Yeah,
but like as far as like the mainline ones, I mean, like 13 was the weird one.
Yeah, 10 Desires. Like, I liked 10 Desires on release, but then the more I played 10 Desires, I realized, oh, you just literally have to play the game the same way every time. Like, you have to use trance here, always, because there's no point in using trance anywhere else, because that gives you the most souls. and it's always the same.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played the new photography game.
That one was,
I really liked 17. They basically mushed together the UFO idea with with basically like Crimson Clover break mode.
Oh, is
where
this
you suddenly get like really strong?
Is that Hidden Star in 4 seasons?
Wily Beast and Wicked Creature.
Okay, Wily Beast and because I have Hidden Star in 4 seasons.
Hidden Star
in 4 seasons is also way too busy. Like Hidden Star in 4 seasons is way too busy for me. I can't keep up with it. It's too visually.
I thought
too
4
much
seasons
going
was. Yeah, I thought 4 seasons was boring, but Wily Beast and Wicked Creature is really really appeals to me.
Okay, I'll have to
it's
look
a
at
little
that
tricky.
one.
I still haven't cleared it.
Yeah, I
also it has a really dope final boss with a dope gimmick at the very end that was basically like just what I wanted out of like 14 and 15. So I was like, oh yay, you did a storytelling thing. Thank you. Nice. I appreciate that.
I've not snagged the 1cc on this yet. I'm real fucking close.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just like I had a heartbreaker of a moment of like almost having it. I don't think that this is as hard as some of the other mainline Toho games. I think if you play these games on normal, you will probably get a 1cc in this game. And if you are at about my skill level, which I would say is I may be average to a little decent at these types of games. Like I would say maybe 8 hours to get a 1cc if you just stick with it. I'm only playing as Cawson because I know her. She throws rocks at things. It's fun. That's what she does. Like that's her shot in this game is just her throwing rocks at things. So that's cool.
Wow,
I'm cool with that.
This must be a pretty quick throw.
Yeah, it really is a quick throw. But and I think she's got the cutest character sprite. I like her the most. So
cool. I looked up the third playable character.
It's very cute.
Okay, who's the third playable character?
The third playable character is Tokiko. She is a minor, unnamed character who only appears in Curiosities of Lotus Asia, Chapter 1.
Okay.
So that's a text story that came out in 2004. Her only role is that she got...
Holy shit.
Her only role is that she gets beaten up by Reimu. Reimu beats her up and takes her money.
Oh, that's so mean!
She could have been the final boss of this because she's the most minor.
That's the most minor you could probably be. Oh man. Yeah, I'm really, really having a lot of fun with this game. It caught me off guard. Just how I guess official it feels. If you released this and told me it was a Zune game, I would totally believe it. I don't think that the bullet patterns are quite as tight. I don't, they're not as pretty, they're not as flowy, but there's definitely that same kind of eye for detail and wanting to kind of put something real pretty on the screen, but also have it be really fun to dodge through. This game has a lot of really fun patterns. It's got a solid practice mode where you can practice stages and spell cards. We always need that.
Oh, that's nice.
Imperishable Knight had the best fucking practice mode, and he's rarely ever replicated it. But these fine folks have replicated that basically. You can practice every spell card on every difficulty and every stage on every difficulty you've played it on. So it's real good. I cannot. Cool. I can't recommend this game enough. It's called, again, it's Toho Ephemeral Unnatural Balance. It's $10, which I think is absolutely, that's a totally fair price for what you're getting out of this.
And it's on Steam.
It's
a real game.
It's a real game, so it's on Steam.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Very, very good.
It took a second to hit.
How about a 5-minute break?
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll be right back. Everybody go clean your cloacas and all that fun stuff. And
I didn't think we'd get there, but this episode mentioned cloacas and Aya Shimamaru.
Oh my god! Son of a bitch. Fucking done with you people.
Life is
echoing.
And we're echoing. It's great.
I just plugged in my headphones. All is well.
Good for you.
Apparently, Tokiko made one more canon appearance.
Oh, did she?
She appeared, this is from the wiki, in a single panel of Forbidden Scrollery Chapter 6 in 2013.
Man, you know what was dope? That one manga somebody made of Wriggle Nightbug taking on Scarlet Devil Mansion. Do you remember that?
Aww.
That shit was good. Like, there
That's
was real
cute.
good fights. It was so good.
That's funny watching Modal jump in right after all the
I was
shmup
about
talk
to say,
because he hasn't
Modal.
watched them.
I know them because one, I've been watching them play Ghost Pilots, and two, they did the music for Kikai.
They did. So that's been really fun to watch your journey there, because it's been since like Christmas, just working on Ghost Pilots and then getting that 1,000,000 points. That's really cool. Ghost Pilots is also like 50 minutes long.
Yeah,
it's one of those classic shmups.
It's relentless. Sometimes you want to get into a new shmup, and then you'll go look for a long play, right? And then you see the timer, and you're praying. It's like 25, 27, 58. Fuck. Oh boy, man, that was gonna. Oh boy, Soldier Blade, man, you are long. I'll get there.
I thought it was 2 loops at first, but no, it's 1 loop.
1 loop.
The most fun was watching that stage 4, I think, because there's this one section that's just like a trench, and it's just miserable. Where it's just completely miserable. And finally looked at a video, and the person was like, "Oh yeah, I use 4 bombs.
I use 18 bombs here, unabashedly." I remember Ghost Pilots is a game that I always grew up knowing and like wanting to play because it was one of the games featured on Nick Arcade.
Aww,
that was like one of the only reasons I ever wanted to play it. So like when I finally was able to get into emulation, man, I gotta fucking play Ghost Pilots. Holy shit, I'm bad at Ghost Pilots.
God, yep. So our shmup talk was Toho, ephemeral, something.
Ephemeral unnatural balance.
And then I talked about Mushihime-sama, so that's good times. Rhett, what have you been up to beyond?
Rhett, what'd you do? What'd you do?
Captain Toad.
That wasn't Captain Toad.
I actually did a lot. Captain Toad was kind of supposed to be the... And then it turned into
the little
Nintendo Dunk Session, as we often do.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like part of the brand now, is that we are Nintendo hostile, unfortunately.
I mean, John, just laying it out there. Yes, I used to like these cute, fun games, and now I see them and go, trash. You spark no joy.
Spark no joy.
That's a throwback.
I played a game that is very pretty. Called Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Oh man!
Oh, tell us about this.
This surprised me because I thought you bounced off the first one.
No, I definitely finished the first one. I have 7.5 hours on Steam. It's pretty short, apparently. But I definitely finished that one. So the other day, Giant Bomb was doing, their Game of the Year awards finally in January.
Like, okay, I think I can forgive them given the fucking shitty 2020 everybody had.
I know. I honestly, it makes more sense to me, like, give them a few more weeks to just, fucking play everything.
Yeah.
And
even then, they still didn't.
I know, but just awards in December are always so dumb because, I guess we do, but we're not, like, actual industry people.
We're, like, our Game of the Year list is going to include Bosconian this year. It's fine.
Yeah. Like, when games are coming out, like, December 7th, and they're recording, Game of the Year, like, a week later, it's always a little weird. Anyways, you were a little salty about 13 Sentinels getting cut from their best-looking category.
Yeah.
And then And that was my initial thought. It was like, oof, 13 Sentinels is gorgeous. And then I went and listened to that category, and it's actually the only one I've listened to so far. But when they read the nominees, one game jumped out to me, and that was Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Mm-hmm. Will of the Wisps. Not a great title to say.
Wisps. Wisps.
And I immediately said to myself, that better win, because that is the best looking game I've ever played.
Oh, for real?
Oh, cool.
This game is so good looking. And like, that's kind of maybe a bit too much what it hangs its hat on.
Mm-hmm.
But this game is so good looking. And it's weird because the first Ori was also extremely good looking.
Yeah, like I remember that being the big thing with that game too, was hey, it's real fucking pretty.
But if you actually look at them side by side now, it's like night and day that this new one looks dramatically better, which is shocking. Like, they have completely upped their game. And the first game is actually entirely 2D, and this one is actually entirely 3D. Like, they're just...
Interesting.
So, like, when you move around, everything, pans in a way that's 3D, and it's stunningly gorgeous consistently. This game, maybe the biggest flaw is that it gets exhausting how gorgeous it is.
That is such a weird thing to hear somebody say. I'm exhausted by this pretty game.
Well, it's like how when John talks about like really gorgeous looking pixel art games.
No, I mean when John talks about things, I get exhausted too. I hear you.
Sorry.
Jeez, John with the big laughs today. I mean, it's just... I think this game's issue maybe is that it has its one style, and it, does it 1,000,000,000% good, but then not a huge amount of diversity, because it's a lot of nature, it's a lot of forest, it's all extremely pretty, though.
It's a lot of things that you can really make look pretty if you're in the business of wanting to make a really pretty looking game.
Yeah.
I'm going to make pretty fucking
Y'all
trees.
need to just like Google Ori trailer while I'm talking about this so you can understand just how fucking pretty this game is.
Don't worry, I'm doing it.
Yeah. Like, there are characters that, like, you meet, like, these giant, like, spirits of the forest, and they're just, like... You can see by the way that they move that they're a 3D model, but the art on them is so sharp and clean, it's just, like... It just looks like a painting moving. It's really wild.
Cool.
I don't want to make this entirely about the graphics, but like I have to like emphasize like this game is stunning looking, and then the ending areas just kind of go above and beyond even that of just like craziness. So this is an open action platformer formerly known as a Metroidvania. I wasn't a huge fan of the first game because it had... I think I played this... Yeah, this was... I don't know if it was 2013 or 2014, but maybe around there. It had the stigma of the genre from then, when it was just like, you do the one thing, you get the key to unlock the next door, and then it tells you where to go to get the next key to it was very linear.
Yeah,
like, there wasn't a whole lot of exploration.
Yeah. Like, if you get special moves, it's literally just a key to get you past one object.
Yeah. So this game, it starts off a lot like that, and then thankfully there is a point where it opens up pretty significantly. But then maybe... So, like, you get maybe about a third of the way through the game, it's just like, okay, we've given you, like, the basic tool. It's very Hollow Knight-ish, I think, where it's like, okay, we've given you, your basic tools, like the double jump, the dash, and stuff. Now you can just do the rest of the game in whatever order you want, and that's really nice.
Cool. Good.
But I think in the end, though, it kind of just comes down to, like, here are the 4 areas left, and they're very kind of Zelda dungeony. Where it's like you go through them, and then there's kind of the one obvious critical path, and then you get an upgrade for that area, and then you find your way to the boss at the end. so it's a little straightforward.
Yeah.
There's one ability in this game. It's from the first one called Bash, which was kind of one of the main things the first game hung its hat on, is that you can jump off of enemy projectiles, and like it goes into slow. It goes into like super slow mode, where so that you can aim where you're going to end up super precisely. Yeah. And then in this game, one of the upgrades from those side dungeons towards the end is a projectile yourself.
Oh.
So you can throw a fireball straight up in the air, wait like half a second for it to come down, then jump up and bash
and
off
then
of
dash
that.
off of it. Nice.
So it's like, and because you can get that relatively early if you happen to go to that area first. It's like, oh, now I can kind of cheese the rest of the game by having this extra jump that you don't have to always have.
Oh.
So that's the kind of stuff I like, where it's like, okay, now having this ability in addition to what the mandatory stuff is.
We have built on something that was there and made it cooler.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just have one use.
Yeah. The other thing, I remember the first game was kind of a massacre platformer. Like, that game's really difficult.
Yeah,
that's
that's something I remember from the first
That's
one.
kind of the one thing you wouldn't expect maybe from it, just looking at it, being like, oh, this is a very pretty game. And also that game will kick your teeth in. Mm-hmm. And, like, I think this game, they dial the difficulty down. It just feels a lot more natural. Like, it'll still kill you.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like so fucking constant like the first one did.
Yeah, well, I mean, Giant Bomb liked it, and they don't like anything that puts up the least bit of resistance.
Oh, I'm not saying this game doesn't put up any resistance, but like it's been a while since the first one. But I feel like if there was like a platforming gauntlet in that one, you had to do it perfectly.
Right.
Where in this one, it's like if you land on the spikes,
you got a little wiggle room, maybe.
You'll take some damage, but then you can jump back up and kind of resume the path, and you won't just. Because right towards the end, they introduce like this poison water that will instant kill you and send you back to the start, and it's like, oh, it's like the first game now, where you have to just do it the one right way, and even then, there's a lot of spikes that don't instant kill you. Yeah, I just had a really good time. I think I was with it. I was just kind of in the mood for that style of game, and then the big open area, the openness of the second half of the game, clicked with me pretty nicely. And in general, I think they learned a lot. They borrowed a little bit from Hollow Knight here because...
Well, if you're going to borrow from a game, like, that's the fucking game to borrow from.
I mean, yeah, every single person making a game in this genre now should be looking at Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
But, like, maybe the stuff they kind of directly borrow from Hollow Knight isn't the most essential, where it's like, oh, now there's, a charm equivalent, and now there's a money equivalent.
Oh.
And then there's a map man.
Yeah, let's not take the most basic things that we learned from Hollow Knight. Let's come on now. Come on.
But I think stuff like that makes exploration rewarding, because you have to put something at those dead ends. Mm-hmm. So like if you get a charm, even if you never use it, you're like, oh, I got a thing. And like the final boss was pissing me off so much because it does a thing right at the end of the fight, and luckily they put a fucking checkpoint right before this happens. The final boss destroys the entire floor, and then just starts infinite.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, man, one of those.
And that's an instant death.
Yeah.
So the boss just starts infinite projectile spam, and you have to just keep using bash to keep yourself up in the air. Because you can bounce off projectiles.
Right.
But attacking the boss at the same time as that is really, really hard.
That's rough.
So, like, I died like 5 times, and I'm just like, I don't know how to do this. And so I pause and I look at the badge menu again, and I find one, and I go, oh, that sounds like it'll be useful for a boss that is infinitely spamming projectiles at me. One of the badges was reflect projectiles with your melee weapon.
Oh, okay.
So I put that on. I bounce around a bit. The boss does like a shotgun blast, and I just sword swipe it, and like 9 projectiles go right back into his face, and he just like basically died in one hit. And I was like, okay. So that felt pretty good. It was funny.
Let's see how this is gonna be.
Because it was just instantly over. It's just like, oh, I just actually won. Because they don't expect you to do a ton of damage, because it's such a tight one-hit kill scenario. So just having that one way, like, so it's like, this could have been like a several minute long, like, endurance struggle, and then just finding a way to one hit it was really funny.
You found the speedrun tech.
Right after I bitched on Twitter about it, it's just like, oh, actually, never mind. There's a way to immediately win.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, that's the secret that people don't understand about video games is, like, all of my gaming prowess comes from bitch on Twitter about it. And then the problem gets solved.
You bitch on Twitter a lot about
unless it's climbing up a
ladder, fucking ladder. Boy, we'll talk about that in a moment. Jesus Christ.
Oh, man. Yeah, we're in the Metroidvania corner now.
Yeah, I think we are. Yeah,
because I finished Ori and really liked it.
Good game.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the mood for more.
You wanted more of that. You need more of that. That find an item to progress goodness.
Yeah, I played Rabby Ribby.
What the fuck is Rabby Ribby?
This is. This game has super powerful Dojin energy.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's that good kind of super powerful Dojin energy.
It's a Metroidvania where virtually every single boss is a cute girl with bullet hell patterns.
This is basically the only reason I bought this for you. Is because, like, oh, it's pretty girls and bullet patterns. What else could this boy want?
I mean, so, like, the story is pretty much nonsense. The graphics are not great. There are systems upon systems. It's, like, super mechanically dense and system heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything about this game is just such pure Dojin energy. Like, in a way that's hard to describe.
It has 220 achievements.
Yeah, there's... Oh my god, the achievements, I was looking at them after beating the game, like, a ton of them are, like, ways you can break the game by doing it non-linear, by sequence breaking and stuff.
It, yeah.
Yeah. Like, one of the obvious ones is just fight the second boss first. Okay. And the achievement is called, like, this isn't the right order. But then one of them is, like, recruit this character to the team first, and I looked up a YouTube video, and it was from the start of the game, like 11 minutes of sequence breaking to get to that point. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Because you know how Celeste has some abilities that Madeline can do that the game just never tells you?
Yeah,
there's some of that in this too.
Oh,
where it's just like,
neat.
Good.
Oh, I literally didn't know until I watched this video. It's like, wait, what the fuck? You can just always do that? What? You don't actually have to get that thing halfway through the game to do that? What? Like, there's one upgrade that just makes a certain thing easier to do, but it's never actually impossible. Which is wild. So yeah, this is just... I don't know how to talk about this game. It's just... This is probably my favorite Metroidvania since Hollow Knight. How about that?
Oh, whoa! Whoa!
I ended up really liking this game.
What made this click?
I don't know. It's just... The bosses are all really fun. So I also played it on hard, which was like... I had read that you can lower the difficulty level, so I was like, okay,
whatever. If it's too hard, we can fuck it down later.
And then getting to the point to where I actually met the NPC that can lower your difficulty was really hard. Because I think if you're on normal, they can raise it up as long as you're still in chapter 1, but even getting to that point was like a little grueling.
Mm-hmm.
I think the difficulty... So there's a weird thing that they do on the top menu, and I think this is part of that Dojin energy, is like, you pick, casual, normal, hard for your difficulty, and then you pick between standard or alternative. And I think the descriptions for those are just straight up backwards.
Oh, no.
Because standard is like enemy difficulty... Oh, God. It's enemy difficulty is affected by items and story progress.
Mm-hmm.
And then alternative is enemy difficulties determined only by story progress. And standard is like... It's if you just want to mainline the game, just kind of play the story. And then alternative is like, if you really want to play this as a Metroidvania and explore and get every item. So that's the one I picked.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's the one where collecting items raises the enemy level.
Oh, interesting.
Because when I first got to the last boss, they were level 80.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went and grinded a bit and, fill out the map, get more items. And I went back and they were level 96 then. And I'm like, wait.
What?
That's odd.
That's not fair.
But it was actually still an easier fight.
Oh,
like
weird.
I did, like I think it's just a counter to like to prevent you from completely breaking the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it is smart in that game. So that's the other thing. Dojin Energy. There's a ton of fucking math in this game behind everything. The upgrades are all like get 20 HP plus 2.5% for every character that joins your party.
Oh, jeez.
And then by the end of the game, I had like 30 of those. So you can just feel the numbers grinding when it's like, and then the stat upgrades, 2.5% more damage, +1 for every character, that stuff like that.
2.5 attack damage times 2.5 times your attack modifier.
Yeah, stuff like that, where it's just like, okay, there's numbers happening behind the scenes. Enemies, bosses have levels. But the weirdest part is that you can switch between normal, standard, and alternative modes. So just for the heck of it, I loaded up my save that I beat in the game on and went to the final boss again. And I thought standard was going to be the easier of the modes. The final boss was level 112 then.
What the hell?
It got harder. So I think what I'm thinking is that if I got 100% of the items on our I can't fucking talk.
What has happened to you?
Alternative. I think if I had 100% items on alternative, the final boss would be level 112, and on standard they were just 112 to begin with. And I'm just like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, is standard the harder one? It's just really confusing.
That's weird as fuck.
Yeah, there's stuff like that. So I don't know which I should have played on, but either way, the game was still pretty difficult, and I was playing on hard, so fucking whatever. But it's just a very good Metroidvania. It's very open. It's very, like, there are parts where it points you in the right direction to go, and there are parts where a character will unlock a thing at certain story progress points. It's like, oh, and then I found, the slide that lets you go through one tile gaps.
Right.
Like, it gates you a little bit, but then I also realized, like, you have, like, 100% access to the world by Chapter 3. And then, like, I didn't even keep progressing the main story after that point, because I was just like, oh, I'll keep the enemy level lower, because I'm playing in the wrong mode, apparently. It just has that energy of, like, I have no idea what's out there in this world, and the game also swerves so many times where it's like, oh, now there's just, like, a flying castle. Now you're, in a computer. Like, you just never know what it's going to throw at you next, besides more bullets, of course.
I mean, you gotta have bullets. I'm fine with this.
Yeah. But then all these bosses, a lot of the girls you'll fight multiple times. So like, you fight her at level 5 and, Ice Wizard, and then 50. Oh, it's the same kind of general theme, but way harder.
Yeah.
So, like, I like that, too. With, like, you can see the themes from them, even though it's all bullet hell. Like, it's very Toho-ish in that way, where a lot of the character personality shines through their bullet patterns. And then you beat the game, and it goes, okay, anyways, Chapter 6. We're not done yet. And then there's an expansion for 2 more chapters that you have to beat Chapter 6 to access.
Jesus.
So there's literally post game.
That's dedication. That is a value, baby.
That's the thing. Yeah, there's a dedication to this game where, like, I think it came out in 2016, and then they did a 3-year anniversary DLC in 2019.
Nice.
Which added, like, 4 more super bosses.
I think that's rad.
Yeah, it's really fun. They also Hollow Knighted it up a bit, even though this came out before Hollow Knight. There's money in this, and there's a shop with a ton of shit to buy, like more stat upgrades, and then every item you get can be upgraded, and it's all like, does 10% more damage, does 20% more damage. It's like, oh my god, all the numbers and math in this. Oh, and then of course there's charms, just like in Hollow Knight.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the same systems. It's just like, that Ori also had. It's just like, okay, did this game come up with it, or it's like it's probably one of the Castlevania games like had kind of equipable stats like that.
Oh yeah.
But it's just funny, like having these games being like, oh, it's charms from Hollow Knight, and then like, oh no, it's badges from Rabby Rabby.
Yeah. Rabby Ribby. Who would have thought that like that's the reason
Pioneer.
Hollow Knight exists?
It could be. God, I misread one of the badge descriptions the entire game until the very end. I thought it was saying it'll do an extra thing if you have less than 10 badges equipped, and it ended up being, oh, that was a greater than symbol.
Oops!
So I was trying to stay under 10 the whole game, and then I finally equipped something, and it started doing the recovery
things
thing.
way harder for yourself the whole time.
I mean, so the badges are also number driven,
right?
Where they each have, an equip value, and that equip value gets higher as you. So I wasn't able to equip 10 of the good ones until super late in the game. Even now, like I've got like 2/3 of them. There's so much stuff in this game. It's really big. Like I think I've finished at like 86% item completion, and I just kind of have no idea for a lot of the rest of it.
That's wild.
Yeah,
I didn't expect this game to be this big.
It's big, and there's big boobs. It's
a lot
the
of
whole
boobs.
package.
There's definitely a lot of boobs.
There's so many boobs. Like, I understand that this game would be off-putting to some people because the story is such fluff and the character designs are extremely horny.
Yeah.
The story is so silly. Where like part of it is that there's no bunnies left in the world except for your character, who is a bunny that transformed into a human for some reason. Mm-hmm. So all the other characters that have bunny ears are just bunny fanatics, and they're trying to capture you.
Oh.
So you're trying to... And they have like this... They have this name that's like the PRPRBRCG, and it's like the 7-word acronym. It's just like, okay. They say it once and never again, so I don't remember what it was. Like, the Secret Society of Bunny Lovers and then Incorporated or something.
Yeah.
That's a lot of my timeline.
It's very good. It's, yeah.
The last bunny is in captivity. The galaxy.
And of course, your main weapon is a hammer.
Of course. Why wouldn't it be?
Like a big, just a giant rubber, mallet that you... That's the thing. You've got like a 5-hit combo, and like they each have slightly different properties. I don't know. This game's fun. It's really good.
The fact that it's like, oh, hey, like a game that I like as much as Hollow Knight. It's like, oh, okay.
Oh, no, not as much as Hollow Knight. But probably
the most
my
like
favorite
one since Hollow Knight.
Yeah, like Hollow Knight is just on such a different
like that.
tier.
That is a high recommendation.
Yeah, especially kind of feels mean immediately after playing Ori to be like, anyways. There's something about it where
I post in the chat everything about this sings to me more than Ori.
Yeah.
I feel mean because I know a couple friends that really connected with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I like Ori 2 more than the original. But I think there's just something about like this genre can be, kind of painful at times. Mm-hmm. Trying to parse my thoughts here.
Rote.
Because I played it on hard and like had such a hard... Some of the bosses like early on were like walls to me. It's just like, okay. It's just like, okay, I'm completely stuck here. I'm just going to go explore somewhere else now. And thankfully, because this game is open, you have that option.
Yeah, there's like other things you can go do.
Yeah. But then a few times it was just like, okay, I'm just going to learn this boss. It's going to take like half an hour.
I mean, thank God Dark Souls invented leaving an area to go do something else and not fighting a boss. Right? Right, everybody? Right?
No, Paul, you don't do that. You just slam your head into the brick wall for 3 hours and complain about how hard it is.
Listen, there were some bosses in this where it's like, my first attempt, I get them to like 25% health, and it's just like, okay, I guess we're just going to keep doing it. And then, God, there's one where like the game locks you in an area without a save point and then lets you be in there for like 20 minutes. And then when you try to leave,
Oof.
it throws a boss at you.
Oof.
So
that's mean.
So it drops an autosave, so like you can replay the boss fight, but you can't make a hard save.
You can't make a hard save. Yeah, okay.
You can't make a hard save until you win, and you've got all the money from the tough enemies you just fought on the way.
Oh man, that's rough.
So that was just like, okay,
we're learning, I guess.
I really want to beat this boss, and then half an hour later, extremely satisfying victory.
What they were building for.
I think maybe this game lost a bit of that in the last half because it got like significantly easier, where I could usually beat a boss within like 3 tries. But also, it maybe would have been too exhausting if every boss was like this half-hour grind, which is kind of how Dark Souls 3 felt to me by the end, where every boss in the last like third was just like miserable one-hit killer. Fucking. I was so confused though that the boss level changed so dramatically.
Yeah, that's so wild.
Yeah. Also, that last boss has, multiple forms. So, like, because part of the shop is that there's an extremely limited number of healing items. So, like, but for most of the game when I'm just, trying to buy the upgrades, I'm ignoring the healing stuff because, that's kind of money down the drain. And then,
you don't need healing. You want to hurt.
I want the upgrades. I want
hammer.
I want the permanent upgrades, not, a thing that'll only help you one time, But then in the back half, like once I've, you start getting money very, very quickly. So it's like, okay, I'll start buying the healing items.
Yeah.
And then I feel that. And then, so things got a lot easier when it's like, oh, I have 2 70% heals in my inventory. Like, most bosses aren't going to be a problem at this point. And then the last boss is bounced around that, basically.
Nice.
It's like, hey, here's, 4 fights in a row. Have fun.
Good.
So yeah,
this looks delightful, Red.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to play Chapter 6 right now, just because I'll probably play it when I buy the chapters to come after it. Maybe take a little break from now. Now.
Yeah.
There's also a free Halloween DLC that I'm told is very hard.
Oh, good. found your Halloween
weird
game
thing
this year.
just exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, this sounds like a really cool thing.
Yeah. Like, okay, here's maybe like the high selling point is that after I first fought the final boss and was like, I'm not ready for this. I'm going to go explore the world some more. I found 2 more areas and a shmup level.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. As far as I know, it's the only shmup level in the whole game, but it was there, I hadn't found it at that point. It's really weird.
That's crazy. That's some good-ass Dojin energy.
It's just like, hey, here's this fun one-off.
Wow.
The reviews on Steam are overwhelmingly positive, with 97% of the 7,500 user reviews positive.
Yeah, I think this might be on Vita. It's definitely on PS4 and Switch. It might.
I have so many friends who own this game. I have never heard of this before.
It's really wild.
Cool. Dope.
Also, you have a fairy companion.
Yeah.
If you needed that last little push, she's very cute. Apparently, it is on Vita. I'm just saying that.
I can play it on my PlayStation Vita.
Yeah, came out in 2017.
It's on Switch too, I think.
Yeah, but you would rather play it on the Vita.
Play it on Vita.
Of course.
Yeah. So that's all I got.
Dope. That's all you got, man. That game sounds fantastic. I'm gonna have to check that out at some point.
I beat Captain Toad and this today.
Oh, nice.
I was just like, I think I can do this before the podcast. Like I had that moment last night though.
That rush is very funny.
Yeah,
I've done that a lot.
Well, like I was like, obviously I was at the last boss. I knew I could beat Rabby Ribby before the podcast. I kind of didn't want to because it kind of made me sad thinking it was over.
Aww.
I think when worlds feel alive and like unexplored, like that's the best feeling. And I think Metroidvania genre, it's always a little sad once you start hitting 100% in areas and realizing
Oh,
that there's nothing left.
Like everything's starting to close up shop.
Yeah.
We're closing for the day. Business is over.
Yeah. There are no more secrets here. Because, and especially in a game where it's just like, you never have any idea what's around the corner. Having an area be like 100% is like, oh, okay. So I kind of don't want to hit 100% in the other areas. Just leave those mysteries out there.
There's always more Rabby Ribby for you.
I mean, technically, there's a lot more.
There's a lot more, yeah.
There's 2 DLCs and the free one, and the last chapter in the main game.
It's not like me and Doom. You have a lot more Rabby.
God.
They're basically
actually
the same.
There's fucking workshop support for this game on Steam.
What?
I don't know what that is.
What is in the workshop?
I think it might just be costume stuff.
Oh man, there's going to be bare titties everywhere. I guarantee.
I hope not.
These do not look like character designs I would want bare titty on.
I want to imagine 20 years from now, and there's a Rabby Ribby map mod scene
that
is as fleshed out and populated as the Doom WOD scene. And there's just there's books written about the progression of the
oh my god
Rabby Ribby mod scene.
Oh my god! So I click the workshop, and the third thing I'm seeing is an IF and Compa from Neptunia mod.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! You can make the shopkeeper into Iffy.
Yes!
Oh my god!
Why are you not doing this right now?
I'm gonna do this when I get back.
Yeah!
Oh my god!
Fantastic!
Oh my god! It looks like the player character can change into Neptune too.
That's crazy. Dojin energy, baby. Why not? No, it's the wild fucking west out here.
Why play anything else?
Exactly.
Besides Toho fan games and Dojin Metroid games.
There's just no fucking point.
I've got a segue for that.
What's your segue, John? What you got?
Okay. Did you have anything else, Rhett?
No, that's it.
Cool. Well, once again, I think we're going to be getting a little sexy.
Oh no!
All right. Do we need to put a content advisory here at this moment in time?
I think we should. Yet
All right, John. I want you to give the listeners a content warning for the next segment, please.
Okay. Well, right before Christmas, I talked a bunch about rants. And the content advisory is that these games have a lot of rape porn in them and they make a lot of rape jokes, basically. They're comedy games that make a bunch of rape jokes. So that's grody.
Right.
Now we're going to dig in.
Okay. Just dive right in.
As Rance would say.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Sorry. So on the last time I played the remake of 1, the remake of 2, and the original 3.
Right.
Since then, I have played all of 4, which is significantly longer than 2 and 3, and I played both 4.1 and 4.2, the spin-off games. Mm-hmm. I finished 4.2 today.
We finished all our games right before the podcast.
God, yeah, I literally finished the game this morning.
That's amazing.
That's very funny. So again, this is the big long history of these games have been going since 1989. Mm-hmm. So they are close to. It's an RPG series that's close to being as old as Ys and Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy, which is
just fucking wild.
So I'm just gonna do an update. I talked about Rants 3 last time, and that was it's the first 2 games all take place in one town with one dungeon. 2 is all this one dungeon under this underground town. 3, you move around a whole bunch of different towns and do other dungeons, and there's actually kind of army sections where there's a little war going on where you lead an army against another group, basically, as you protect the kingdom of Lizas from Hellman. I think it's Hellman. Yeah, it was Hellman. And so the progression and the big thing is that game was like 10 hours long, and it felt kind of rushed because it's doing these big beats and was moving through them really quickly. Rance 4 kind of pulls back in scope while also getting bigger in scope in a way that's very cool in comparison, because it's like 15 or so hours long, but it's back to being one big location. You're on a Laputa, you're on a Zeal, you're on a giant floating castle, giant floating continent.
Does this top your list of best games with a Laputa?
Probably up there. And so you're doing, but so it's paced a lot like Rance 2, where there's one big dungeon, but the dungeon is just much bigger and you explore it in a much less linear way, or at least it doesn't feel linear because you got a lot of open paths, even if there's only ever like one thing to go do. And it was a really nice progression, because 3 again felt like it kind of rushed through all of its big beats, and then 4 luxuriates in them better. It feels smaller, but in the process it feels complete. And it's also drop dead gorgeous, I think. The sprites in 3 are pretty utilitarian, I think, a lot of the time. 4 just ups the res of all the art and also adds a bunch of custom animations. And they show that right away with they introduce a new character, and she spins around, like does a little pirouette after she opens up a magic door in a ruin, and it's like, oh shit, you're doing like animations and stuff. And the color palette is really nice. It's like very muted. I don't know if it's like beige is the right word, but like it feels very classy. It's a very cool look. And it has a big emotional catharsis, and I was like, a big emotional ending. I was like not expecting. I was like, oh cool, you're doing it. I think the big obstacle with it is that, like Rance 3, the fights are basically all extremely easy, and you basically just play on autopilot for most of the game. Literally, there's an auto battle function, so it doesn't take a lot of time. But like the last 2 fights are hard, and then beyond that, you're just not having to think about it much at all.
Right.
So it doesn't feel like 3 doesn't really feel flat. They still don't feel fleshed out as like games basically yet. They feel like adventure games with RPG stuff tossed on, and then the adventure game stuff is mostly just like a way of pacing out the comedy set pieces, the big set pieces. But it was cool because the climax was really neat and emotional, and a character you care about is endangered in a way that feels like scary, like legit scary, and the way it plays out in the climax is really neat. And it has more. It feels the final boss feels more climactic than in 3, where they just kind of say fuck it on the battle system. Where like there's a tactical battle system. There's a tactic system where you walk around on a board, sort of like trails in 3 and 4. But in 3, for the big fights at the end, they just remove that and just have them go back and forth fighting.
Oh, nice.
It's really weird. And then for the actual final boss, they just have a mini game basically instead of an actual fight. So 4 has a big final boss, and it's cool and satisfying. And there's a big set piece where you're running through the dungeon, and the baddie is throwing all the like bosses from like the disc 1 final boss attacks you, and then your characters are like, I don't have time for this, we need to go and save the character. So then a handful, you have like your 15 party members split off, and they fight that one boss, and then you run for it, and then more characters attack, so that some more split off and fight that boss, and then you go fight the final boss with the people that are left, and then as you fight, the characters from before join in, and it's so cool. I had a really good time. But I did communicate this, where it's like it was the most tiring to get through because it was the longest and the most like real RPG. And I was kind of like, oh, it would be kind of nice. I remember how Rance 2 was like 5 hours long and really stupid.
Yeah, like it sounds
well,
like as we are moving further into this series, it's getting less stupid and maybe a little more serious, and maybe it didn't intend to or something.
Yeah. It definitely is still stupid throughout. They
Right,
don't lose that. They don't lose its particular sense of humor as detailed in the content warning. But it's more emphasis on lore, more emphasis on building a setting, more emphasis on larger conflicts. And so you're losing a little bit of the kind of Newgrounds Flash game energy of the first couple games, basically. Newground porn game.
Most positive. That is the most positive.
Absolutely.
It's coming from a good place.
Mm-hmm. And then, thankfully, my prayers were met, and they released Rants 4.1 and 4.2, which have a completely different art style. It looks like bright and cheap.
Yeah, I watched you post about these. They look very.
Did John post about these?
Yeah, John posted.
He posted about them.
Yeah.
So like 4 was like this very classy muted look with like just beautiful CGs, and then 4.1 and 4.2 are like bright, thick lines. It looks dumber and cheaper, and I'm so here for it. And the game is like the games are like 2 or 3 hours long a piece, and then if you go into Alice's mansion and they give you instructions on how to send a feedback card, and they say, please remember that these games are much cheaper. Please don't compare it with the $100 ones. $100 Aerogates.
That's incredible.
I found that very cute.
It's incredible.
So 4.1 and 4.2, because of events in 4, Syl does not take part. It's just Rance and a new character going to a completely new setting, and it's paced like 2 again, where you're just in one setting with one dungeon. And they use that format in a really cute way to tell like a very, very stupid slight story. And I was just grinning throughout.
Just here for the rampant stupidity.
Yep. But it felt together. There's a cool set piece where you fight like 3 bad guys in a row, so at the very end. And you can't save between them. It's like, oh shit, I have to think about the fighting. And then it seeds these moments and these payoffs very effectively. The bird from Rants 2 comes back, who is one of my favorite interactions, because he's basically a nice guy TM. And watching that kind of personality bounce against Rants is very, very funny.
That's good. Good foil there.
Yeah, so a big part of the arc of Rants 4.1 and 4.2 is stealing Bird's new girlfriend, and it's very well done. Just excellent content, essentially.
Yeah,
just like Rants 2 was as well. And then it hits, and then it climaxes, and the ending is just very stupid and slight. And I was once again just like, yes. And then the credits, it has, yep. And the credits has photos of the staff doing silly poses. Like there's a bunch of the director photo and whatnot. It's like people without, like dudes without shirts wearing neckties.
Nice.
One with somebody programming with a gun pointed at their head. Somebody getting stepped on. Somebody in a pile of trash with a note put on them that says trash. And that's a mood.
That is peak 2020 mood.
So I was just so happy because again I'd finished 4 and I was like, this is really big and epic and that's cool. I miss stupid Rants a little bit, and I got these 2 games that just it ends like right in the middle. It's one game. Like there's no reason to think about it as 2 games. It just cuts off right in the middle of the story and then continues very nicely. And then right after that today, I began Kichikuro, which was the ending of Rants. in 1996.
Oh, wow.
Because they were out of money. Figured they were going bankrupt soon. So they used they had all their ideas for future Rants games, and they're like, what if we made one game that just had all of those?
This has
ideas?
everything.
So it's a grand strategy game about Rants becoming king and taking over the continent.
Nice.
The whole world that you've explored up to this point. And later games make this non-canon because it just finishes so thoroughly. Mm-hmm. They make it like a spin, like a what-if tangent, but then they pull from it. And then, like, Rants 10, the 2018 game, is literally just Rants becomes king and takes over the world. So this is the game that was the ending of Rants, and then they pulled back a bit to continue it, and then basically take all these cool ideas and then flesh them out into whole games.
They basically had their Squaresoft Final Fantasy moment where they were going under and Rants pulled through.
Mm-hmm. And then Kichiko Rants was one of the best-selling Eroge games of all time and continued selling for full price regularly for 10 years after its release.
That's fucking what?
Wow.
And then 10 years after its release, you know what they did in 2006? They made it freeware. They put it online for free.
What?
Utmost class.
That's
just...
That is really... You gotta give it to them. Jesus Christ.
Who's the person like me that bought it 2 days before it went free and was like...
Oh, yeah. Somebody had to be real fucking butt mad about that.
Okay.
That would be Rhett's luck.
I've only played the first hour, but the first hour is so wild, I want to describe it. And, like, there's a half hour of game where Rance is now leader of a thieves guild. And the strategy, they tutorial the city conquering, basically, by just you leading the thieves group that you're leading to pillage local towns.
Right.
And it happens for, like, a little bit. And then you're introduced to a couple new characters, and it's like, okay, the story's progressing. And then the Hellman army comes in, and they're like, oh, we're going to put a stop to this. And you get fucking trounced.
Oh, no.
And Syl gets captured, your other new party members get captured, and Rance flees to Lizas. And as he's fleeing, he swears revenge against Hellman, and then the opening plays, and they play Rough Edge, which is the big theme they reference throughout the rest of the games. And he gets to Lizas, and the princess from the first game, who has periodically met him again since then, who has completely fallen head over heels for him, he says, I need your Lizas army so I can fight against Hellman and rescue Syl. And then she says, well, I can't just give you the army to settle your personal grudge. But, if we got married, then you'd be the king of Lizas, and you could do what you wanted.
Oh my god.
And he goes, okay.
Why not? Try it on
and the beginning of the Kichiko Rants.
Try it on for size.
The beginning of Kichiko Rants is Rance getting married and becoming king of Lizas.
John, you literally told me like 2 days ago that Rance doesn't get married.
Oh yeah, I did. No, he gets married.
Oh my god.
Specifically, and
he broke his one rule.
He broke his one rule. And then he goes out to give his coronation speech, and then he goes, all right, listen well, ignorant masses. From now on, you work for me. You live for me. Then when I order you to die, you die for me. Got it? But cute girls get special treatment. I'll give them all my love. Gah ha 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 ha. Yes, everything is mine. Gah ha 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 ha. And that's the start of the game.
Fantastic.
And then Civil War breaks out because people don't like this guy being their king. And that's where I'm at.
Great!
I'm shocked.
Yeah, utterly shocked that this could be a bad idea.
So I know a couple of the plot turns that can happen. It's all wildly divergent because this is super systemsy and it's hard, apparently.
Oh.
Wait, so...
this is a strategy game. This is like the Koei shit. Which is completely different from all the preceding games. It's the same style that Sengoku Rants has, which is the one that people fell in love with on 4chan 15 years ago. Yeah. So this is the first game in that style.
It's interesting that this one was a huge hit in Japan, and then Sengoku Rants was kind of a huge hit everywhere. Like, it seems like that strategy style just works better, at least as far as sales go.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then 6 is a first-person dungeon crawler RPG. 8 sounds stupid also. 5D and 8 are both sound stupid and slight, so I'm glad that they don't lose that energy. I'm very happy about that. So I've just got a big... And I tried starting Kichikobi and just skipping 4.1 and 4.2 because I heard they were bad. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I wasn't really feeling because the art was different, and I was like, this is weird. It's the first one that's not been... that wasn't fan-translated or translated officially by Tulip Goddess Maria. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, the writing's a little different. I don't know. But then playing 4.1 and 4.2 first, it made me feel a lot better going into... A different art style, and B, another epic game, because it's like, okay, I'm ready for this now. I can bounce back and forth between these two flavors.
Yeah.
So, if you can't hear from the big ass grin I've had this whole time, I've had a really good time.
Like, we can literally hear your grin.
It's just pure joy, and this is why I'm wondering how I'm going to handle Ys 9 coming out, because I was like, oh, I should finish Ys 7 before I start Ys 9. And I was like, well, once I'm done with Rants 4, I should finish Ys 7. Well, once I'm done with 4.2, I should finish Ys 7. Well, I'm starting this 25-hour strategy game.
Might have to take a back seat, Falcom.
Might not even finish that before Ys 9.
Yeah.
I might not even finish that.
Ys 9 is in almost a week.
Mm-hmm. I might finish this and then jump straight into Ys 9 and just back burner Ys 7 that much more. Ys 7 seems great. It seems lovely.
Ys 7 is
I don't feel any will towards it. It seems fine.
I took a break in the middle of that game once it was like...
You kind of I feel a break is warranted in the middle of that game for what they want you to do.
But I'm not sure John is at that point. So
Yeah.
No, I got to the point where they told you to go to all the dungeons again.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly the point where it's like, okay.
Yeah, I stopped exactly there. Don't worry.
And it'll probably be like when I went back to that and it's like, oh, this wasn't nearly as bad as I imagined it to be.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's going to go smoothly once I jump back in, but like, obviously, Rants takes precedence.
Right. Of course. We've got to prioritize here.
You started this out saying you were exhausted by the end of 4, and then follow with, and then I played 3 more.
Yup. I was a little exhausted at the end of 4, and then I don't know. I guess 4.1 and 4.2 just re-energized me because now I'm fucking. It was really just the end of 4 was so good. Mm-hmm. Like it was a long journey to get there, but the climax was so solid that I was just like, yeah, I want to play more Rants. And I almost started Kichiko immediately, but then I was like, no, let's do these first. I'm excited to play more right after this podcast. And then there's so much more. Well, really, there's only 3 more after this one. Because 5D, 6, and Sengoku are the only ones that are localized. We're not going to have to wait for 8, 9, and 10. So I get to bring that. That'll be an energy a year from now.
Yeah,
like
hey, that, like the saga. There, we've got a saga on our hands.
What if 8 somehow isn't the next one localized? What if the 9 and 10 finish first?
Literally, they have a progression meter, and it's like
8
is 100% translated in beta. This one 9 is 100%, but not on its first edit pass, not beta. 10 is barely any progress, so it'll be a while.
Oh boy! Speaking of that, I was looking at Geofront last night. Their Trails to Zero is still, or Trails to Ovo Zero is still like at the exact same spot. It's just like, come on!
Oops! Come on!
Well, it's just like
what's this alternative saga shit? Come on!
I know. It's just like second editing past 95%. Like, come on!
You're so close. Don't, because you just know if you play that PSP game, you're gonna get halfway through it, and then
that's exactly what's gonna happen. Done. Yep, we're done. Rolling it out next week. 20 hours into the PSP version.
No auto battle. No frame skipping.
Nope.
This series is a warm blanket, and I'm just wrapping myself up in it.
It's a warm something.
I have now I've now played more Rance. I've now played as many Rance games as I have Ys games, or not counting Kichikuo.
Don't know how I feel about that.
John's gonna go into.
I started E7 before. I started E7 before playing Rance 1.
Mm-hmm.
So finished 6 in between.
Jesus Christ.
Soon to be 7.
I took a break, but not like that. John, when you go into Ys 9, you're gonna have some wires crossed.
Yeah, things are gonna.
Oh, yep. Oh, yep. I had that going from 3 to E7 again. I was like,
Hey there,
crossing...
cute girl.
It's like, no, I am so excited to go on adventures as equals and partners in adventure. That is our relationship. And I'm jazzed about it. So that'd be me going into Ys 9 too. It's like, hello, fellow adult person. We are comrades in arms here.
As we explore the cloaca.
Yep! We're gonna explore the cloaca!
Let us platonically explore the cloaca together. My only love is adventure.
Oh my god.
There it is. That's the funniest.
I hope I got across how.
That's the funniest piece of platonically ever.
I can't believe it, John. I can't believe John finally told a funny joke.
After hours over. That is my rants. That is my rants update.
Right.
For the moment.
That's the next installment. The next installment of the rants. Hey, John, got a question. What condiment does Syl like on her salad?
I don't know. What condiments does Syl like on her salad?
Rants dressing.
Boom. Stupid.
I don't even eat salad, and I still figured it out.
I figured that was one you would have been able to guess.
That was one of the funniest. That was one of the funniest running jokes in 4.1 and 4.2. Is that Rance forbids Syl from coming along on the adventure because he was worried about her after she was imperiled at the end of 4, and then so she's not allowed in. He takes Athena instead, whose character trait is being dumb as a bag of bricks, which makes her really funny. Which makes her a really funny counterpart for Rance because she is completely unfazable. Like, no matter what he does, she's just like, what? Just head empty, no thoughts.
Just complete head ass.
But periodically throughout the adventure, Rance is saved by a mysterious pink mask. Who is this, like, dressed up in, like, the Sailor Moon outfit, but has, like, a mask throughout. And it's this mysterious girl with bright pink floofy hair.
It's really fucking
who just saves them and then runs off. And there's a moment near 4.2 where he's, like, kind of thinks that it might be Syl. And it's like, no, it couldn't have been. And then it's just not resolved. He just shows up at the end and Syl says, welcome home.
Oh my god.
He never fully figures it out or addresses it.
That's so good. That is exactly how that needs to be played. There's so much genius in this fucking stupid series.
Stupid series. Throughout 4.1 and 4.2, Athena draws your map as you explore the dungeon, and that's the map you see on the screen.
The map is real good.
Yep, but then and she like draws little drawings around and asks Rance like, "What should we call this one? Call this point AA. Call this point X. Call this point Y. Call this point XX. Call this the piggy bank room because there's a piggy bank." But at one point in 4.2, he falls in a pit trap because he answers wrong on a quiz show, which he has to do to progress.
No.
And then he has to explore a floor without Athena, so he fills in the map himself, but it looks really crappy. It's like drawing with crayons.
That's such a good gag, honestly.
Like, there's so much I admire here. It is nothing I will ever want to play, but I admire the fact that the people making this are actually fucking comedic geniuses in some way.
They're having so much fun.
Yeah. God damn. It'll at least be interesting to hear how this fucking pans out.
Yep, we got more. We got plenty more. I'm excited for more of Kichikuo.
Yep.
More Brutal King rants is how that translates.
There's no more Doom. But
No
there's
more
lots
Doom. Lots of rants.
No more Doom, but lots of rants. I thought I was thinking of a joke that was the DK rap, but with the BK.
Oh my god. All right, we're moving on.
Okay, I'm done.
All right, I played a couple more video games.
You have something.
I got a couple of
somethings.
somethings. I'll try to get through them in a decent amount of time, but we could talk.
I know we went long.
It's okay. We will.
We went long.
If we need to go long, we'll go long. Who cares? It's our podcast. We can do whatever the fuck we want.
Absolutely.
All right. So
I want to hear it.
All right. So first game I played in this second batch, it's The Messenger.
Oh,
Who's heard of The Messenger?
Tell us about this. More Metroidvanias.
Who heard about this? Who heard about Metroidvania? What are you talking about, John? This is a stage-based. This is a stage-based 8-bit action platformer.
Yeah.
I love those.
Yeah, those are fun.
Right?
A lot of people like to compare this to Ninja Gaiden, but I don't think like the pace or the way the game feels in anyway. Like Ninja Gaiden is just ridiculously precise. Like the level design is tight, it's snappy. Everything is meant to be absolutely disastrous at every turn. Whereas this is kind of like, we're trying to invoke that idea, but man, we putting them kid gloves on. It's gonna be it's gonna be fine. But sort of the main gimmick of this game is that like when you strike an enemy or a projectile, which you can buy which you buy an upgrade to do. It's one of those games where you get currency and you buy upgrades along the way. You like when you're in the air, you jump, you slash, you hit an enemy, you can then jump again. So they call that cloud stepping. Okay. That's kind of the main gimmick of the games. They kind of want you to kind of play like I think that the game is only fun if you're playing it as fast as possible. So just like always trying to do cloud stepping off of like lamps or enemy projectiles in certain ways. And a lot of the stages are set up and like a lot of the cycles with how enemies' attacks are set up so that like they facilitate this. So it's a game that's very much feels like it's so far kind of built with the speedrunner in mind. And like I just played this that way though, like because trying to stop and play this slow and methodically is really boring. Like it's not fun at all because all of the enemies are like mostly really passive and slow. They're kind of just there to be obstacles most of the time. The only time they really attack is when they're trying to feed you things to cloud step off of, to like slash and then do the cloud jumping. And you get like a solid 6 or 7 stages of this, which took me about, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours to get through. Some decent boss battles. The writing is abysmal. It's that kind of writing, and it's real prevalent these days where somebody's writing a script and they think that every single dialogue box needs to have a funny haha in it somewhere.
Oof.
And it's like way too online. Trying to be really aware of its jokes too. Like, it's like, stop it, please. And there's like this weird Jordan Peterson rant in the middle. Ooh, which is just like, referred to as Jordan the Wise, and then it's just like an excerpt from a Jordan Peterson lecture or something. And it's like, oh boy,
jeez.
It's like, I think these people might be wearing their politics on their sleeve. Especially because, like, apparently there was a day one patch where they had to patch out a, did you just assume my gender joke? Good people.
Nice.
Sounds like they're like, and they tried to, like, and apparently they tried to backpedal it at some point. To be like, no, it's just satire. That's all. This is like, really, just putting a Jordan, just writing a Jordan Peterson lecture in your game as satire and calling him Jordan the Great or Jordan the Wise. Like, that's your thing. So, like, yeah, like, but yeah, like you, a lot of your interactions are with this shopkeeper you meet along the way, and it's just like he talks and like somebody was given a lot of time to sit at a computer and write a bunch of nothing. Like, the worst fucking... Like, it's... the writing is just grating. Like, just trying to read this is just like... It's like, please stop talking. Like, I don't ever want to interact with anything that involves a dialogue box in this game. Again, please stop. But we got our little platform. We got an action platformer, runny, jumpy, hoppy, slashy. Feels good. It's fine. You know, I get to the end. Like, I fight a boss. It feels like a climactic final boss. It's impressive looking. It's got a great soundtrack. Having a decent... Not hating it. Just like, hey, you know what? I'm engaged. Sometimes that's all you need. You know, like, not every game needs to be the greatest damn game that I ever played. So fine, we're playing a decent-ish platformer, beat a boss that's really impressive, and then the game's not over. Then there's another half to this game that... Oh boy.
Oh boy.
So we've been talking about a certain genre here quite a bit today. It's going to come up probably a couple more times, and this is going to be the first time. The second half, like, it's spoilers, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to break it to you. For some reason, the messenger, after being this solid 4 or 5-ish hour platformer thing, decides, all right, I'm a Metroidvania now.
Yeah.
So good, right? Fantastic. And they couldn't have made a more boring one of these if, like it almost feels like that was the point. Like, it almost feels like they tried and succeeded at making the most boring... like, exploration-based platformer. So, in the first half of the game, like, I ended up buying all the skills. Like, okay, I bought everything, and then they give you, like, a couple of other ones, like the wingsuit, and, there's another one they give you for free, the grappling hook. Like, okay, you gave me all that. So I basically got everything I'm getting. So... I start, so the second half of the game is like, you gotta find these 7 musical notes to open the way to the final dungeon. And that means you're gonna have to go back to all the levels that you were just in. We added a few extra rooms where you might find them. And I'm pretty sure at this point the game makes the dumb... Haha, don't you hate it when you play a video game and you gotta do backtracking?
Oh my god.
By the way, you've gotta do backtracking. Guys.
You see, it's really the best satire is when you make fun of something and then do it unironically.
Yeah, this is like... God. Okay. So, second half of the game, I'm geared in. Fine, they give me a dumb map with squares to fill in. Fantastic. Let's do it. Let's humor them. Because I can't... If there's one thing that I think that I need to do with, like this is a genre that I kind of need to reassess a little bit, because I can't keep holding everything... I can't keep comparing everything with Hollow Knight. I think that's sort of...
Which I just did.
Which... That's sort of what I'm doing. I think that I look at this genre now and I just go, it's not Hollow Knight. Who fucking cares? So I'm trying to be a little more open-minded again. I'm trying to ease back into so that my heart is not so hard to this genre that completely just got annihilated by one game.
Yeah.
So I do the first. I do the Good Boy Ninja thing. Oh, this game also has a weird thing where you jump between 8 and 16-bit styles for some reason, but I honestly can't tell you why. I don't know why this is a thing.
I thought the Metroidvania part was the 16-bit side of the game.
Well, that's when it starts getting introduced, but all it does is just oh, hey, when you change to 16-bit, there's a platform here that wasn't before.
Oh.
It's boy, I bet.
Weird.
Boy. And it's wow, that sounds like it was worth all the money it probably took to create those assets. So I played through the first area, and I got one new ability. I was okay, well, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do the Metroidvania thing. I got a new ability. Go me. And I go and I find the dumb thing that they want me to find, and I get it. And it's all right, let's go to the next area. And okay, all that's here is okay. I gotta go back to the other area and find another key to go get this dumb musical note. Okay, so I go get the second musical note. And then I go to the third area, and it's okay, now we need you to go back 2 more areas because there's probably an item hidden over here that you just unlocked. Go get that, come here, go do this thing, then you can get this. So I looked it up, and there's no more progression items in the game. There's no more abilities. I'd already bought and found them all, and there was still 7 hours of game left. And so the rest of the game is literally just this awful Metroidvania where you're not really progressing. You're just going to find MacGuffin after MacGuffin that lets you find the next MacGuffin that lets you find the next MacGuffin that lets you find the key that lets you find the next MacGuffin. And it's just... And the subtle differences they were adding to each new area didn't feel like it was worth it. Again, okay, you did a 16-bit room. Then it's got 3 more platforms than the other one. Nice. Good job. It's fantastic. Had a good time jumping on those 3 platforms. Man, the grappling hook, man, I stuck it right to that new wall that wasn't there before. Felt real good.
Are they telling you where exactly to go the whole time too?
Yeah, there's hints all over the place. It's just hey, go here.
Wowzers.
It's not even trying. There's nothing to explore for. There's no reason to. And for some reason, this part of the game also starts becoming really, really heavy with one-hit kills.
Excellent.
And this is
great. Part of the genre.
Yeah, this is a point where you've already upgraded to your maximum of 8 hit points, and now literally everything just kills you in 1 hit. Okay, because it all becomes they start to try to do really heavy platforming challenges, but really heavy and hard platforming challenges aren't super fun when I die and then have to spend 2 minutes getting back to it because that was the last checkpoint. I stopped playing this game. I did not finish it. I have no interest in ever looking at it again. There is nothing this game is doing that could ever convince me that it's something that I'm worse off for not seeing the rest of. To give you an idea of how crap the back half of this game is. Speedrunners typically only run the first half of this game. They just run it up to that point to where you get the map, and that's it. Go look at speedrun.com. It's only the 8-bit portion of the game. It's just it's one of the most miserable experiences I think I've had with a game in a while. Just that back half was just are you fucking for real? This is... who thought this was fun? Who thought that a Metroidvania without the powering up and getting cooler stuff part was a good idea? Who thought that was good? Apparently Jordan Peterson fans did. They know a lot about good video games, apparently.
That really is just like, feels like the most fundamental misunderstanding of the entire genre.
Yeah, like it's just like
that's brutal.
We literally only see the part of the genre that is backtracking,
Squares.
sprawling maps, and keys. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, The Messenger is boring. Stay away from it. Like, even the 8-bit part is not, like, it's not worth playing. Like,
worth it?
Yeah, like, it's just not worth it. Like, it's not a game that I would go out of my way to ever play. Like, no, don't worry about it. Not Sockscast approved.
Yeah, everything about this screamed to me just like, stay away since release. I was just like, oh yeah, that sounds like one I can skip.
Yeah, like, this is just like this is like the fundamental, like, high budget looking indie 2D platformer that, like, everybody kind of like makes fun of. And it's just like, this is the joke we're making when we make the joke, and these guys didn't realize that they were actually just making the joke. It's what a turd. So moving on. I played another game.
Okay.
So I did a stream the other night, and I just kind of like we were having some good times. I played some Super Crush KO. That game's still really rad. I'm hoping that I turned a few more people on to that, having seen it in action. Chat seemed to react pretty well to it, so props to that. Still like that game a lot. So about like near the end of the stream, I was just like, you know what? Let's switch it up. Let's do something different. Let's flip the script on them. Let's flip the script on myself, because even I didn't know I was gonna do it. And I installed Blaster Master Zero, which is it's Blaster Master. Remember Blaster Master on Nintendo with the little with your little tank?
I played it during one of my Sunsoft binges.
Yeah, that game's pretty fucking good. It's pretty solid.
I remember when I did the thing, I was going to binge a bunch of NES games, and I got like 3 games in, but Blaster Master was one of them.
Yeah, that game's real good.
It's real good. An early example of the Metroidvania genre.
This is really like, and the thing is like it's sort of like, it's more like the original Blaster Master is very linear, honestly. Like, it's not super explory, because there's a very linear path that you have to take to get where you're going. It's just that there are alternate paths you can end up going down that are wrong until you find the right path. Like, it's not really super explory and cavernous.
But, like, it almost is more like that genre became than.
Yeah, like it is. It's sort of like, it's more like the bigger Hunters maps, if I had to compare it to anything. Like it looks more sprawling than it is. It looks more explory than it is. So it's Blaster Master with lots of story. It's got story. It's it's a story. I didn't really care about it at the end, because I don't think it's really well told, but it's okay. It's Blaster Master. If you are rebooting / remaking an 8-bit NES game, I'm not gonna hold it against you if the story's kind of whatever. Like, it's just like there's a lot of dialogue for a story that I feel isn't saying anything, though. So it's just really weird.
The thing I'd heard about it is that they try to kind of blend the Japanese and English continuities together.
Yeah.
Like they still have the frog from the English
version. They have the frog. Like, that's the thing, is it doesn't really, like, the frog makes nothing make sense here, because the frog is just literally the MacGuffin that makes everything happen. It's like, oh yeah, the frog just pulled a new tank out of its asshole. Here you go.
Frog tank. They should just equal frog tank.
Frog tank, exactly. But yeah, they tried to mash both of the stories up, and it's fine for what it is. That's not what you're here for. Like, I understand that, like, it's this game came out, I think, 2018 or something. You got to do something with these games, like, because you can't just present them the way they normally were. But this is sort of like a remake / reboot, and like, when I started playing, it was just like immediately recognizable that they absolutely nailed how Blaster Master feels. Like, cool. Blaster Master was sort of the first platforming kind of thing I played where I felt like the thing you were controlling had some real weight and inertia to it. Like, it's just like, and it's just like the way that thing, like, you like, it's weighty, but it's not heavy because you're still very floaty. It's just the way that you whump down onto the ground and you hear that thunk. And just the way it, like, and the way the wheels turn and the way it's just kind of moving along. It's a very recognizable feeling, like how chunky and slippery this game felt immediately, but it wasn't unwieldy. Like, I immediately, like, my muscle memory immediately snapped into that NES game, and I didn't have to adjust anything to how I moved that tank at all. It just felt perfect. Like, they had to have just, like, it feels like one of those things where, like, they were playing these games side by side while they were programming it, and they were taking note of every little frame, making sure that everything felt as close as it could.
That's definitely impressive for the original game that they were able to just kind of copy how it felt and, like, make a modern game.
Yeah. And like, that shit just feels so good. Like, I loved playing around in the tank. Like, once you get the hover, it feels so fucking good. Just flying around, popping off shots at things, and just, like, this game's got game feel. Love it. Nice. It's super vibrant looking. Like, this game's got just gorgeous style at the start. Like, it's so pretty.
It's just so pretty.
The music, it's like it's very purposefully aping that sampled Sunsoft style, like with the sampled bass, and it still fucking slaps in 2021. They nailed, like, this in package. Like, from the moment you start this up and start playing, it's just, if you played Blaster Master at all, you are going to be right at home. And that's rarely ever the case with games like, even Bionic Commando Rearmed. When I played that, there was, like, a reconnection period where it's just like, okay, I need to get used to new physics. This is just, no, we just made that game. And I mean that in the very, like, in just kind of the sense of the opening is that, like, Area 1 is literally Area 1 from the first game. Like, they copied it room for room. Like, the like, you start out and you look up and you can see the platforms that lead to Area 4 right above the start. It's really good. It's real good. It's got every little note. Like the first major boss is Mother Brain.
I think that's really smart because when I played that game as a kid, like, I never got past Area 2, so like my entire memory is basically Area 1.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're gonna just nail one and just copy it outright, that's obviously the one to do, because, like, you can change the later areas, people won't even notice.
Yeah. So this game's, like, it's got 8 areas. Like, most of them are new. There's like a couple of them that are still pulled from the original game, like the ice level, the fire level, the organic level near the end. They're doing, like, they're playing as much with that original game as they can. They're trying to put little spins on everything. Like, there's definitely, like, some new moves and stuff you get with the tank. Nice. Like, you get a cool charge tackle that's real good. That feels real meaty. You get, like, this cool laser that you can shoot from your wheels downward to, like, deal with enemies that are too small to shoot. You can just, like, hop over them and fire this laser down, and it just has this nice, satisfying crunch to it. That's what it sounds like. It feels good. And the maps are all relatively small, like, and again, it's very much set up like that original game. There is a little more explory stuff to it because you can go find, like, life ups, and there are a few extra upgrades that you can get that aren't required for the critical path. So it does actually do you some good to like take note of areas that you didn't go to or can't get to right now and come back later. It's kind of like, if I had to kind of compare the map sizes, I would say they're pretty similar to like Reverie Under the Moon or Luna Nights, where they added just enough to kind of make it feel a little more fleshed out, but it's not super big or anything. And then there's like the levels out of the tank where they're like the top down shootery parts, and those become real inconsequential really fast.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, those become super fucking easy once you get the wave gun. Once you get the level 8 gun, don't ever use any other gun but the level 8 gun. Because it literally penetrates through enemies. It does the most damage. Like, you can melt bosses in 10 seconds with it. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, why did nobody test this? Did you guys just not care that much about these overhead portions, which are a 50% of the game? Because, boy oh boy, they are babby easy once you get level 8 gun. And with very little searching, you will find an upgrade that that protects you from taking a hit to your gun level. So like if you get hit, your gun level goes down one level, right? But you find an upgrade that like shields you from one hit, and that shield comes back after 2 seconds. So like all you've got to do is not get hit for 2 seconds if you get hit.
Do you take damage or just?
Yeah, you take damage. But your gun level will not go down. Okay. So
that's what made the first game so hard, is losing your gun level like immediately.
Yeah. And there's 8 guns you have, but like only the wave beam is worth using for most of it. And there's like 7 different types of bombs or grenades, but I literally only used like 2. That's a sort of a problem this game has. It has a lot of items and weapons that you're just never going to use because nothing is balanced, really.
See, I thought making the top-down stuff easier was the right move because they're such a pain in the original.
Yeah.
But like, if they're giving you all these weapons and equipment that you just literally don't need to use, then that's not great.
Yeah, it feels like this game could have focused more on a smaller set of items that were just way more useful. But instead, it's just like, here's like a bunch of guns and bomb types that I'd never used. Okay, sure. Like, here's a laser that I have to charge up for 20 seconds in the tank. I'm literally never going to use this. Like, what am I going to sit there and wait 20 seconds to shoot at? It's just kind of a lot of silly nonsense. Weird. Like, it's like, I appreciate the effort, I really do, but nothing in the game is ever going to require me to use this.
Is there no difficulty selection? Is there a hard mode or anything?
Well, you unlock a harder difficulty once you complete the game, but it sounds way too overcorrected. Like, every enemy shoots revenge bullets. When you get like life ups, like, you still have to collect them, but they don't give you extra life anymore. So they're just dummy pickups. Yeah, like, they're life ups. They still count toward your percentage, but you don't get anything for finding them. But you still have to find them, because this is one of those games where you have to find literally everything in order to go to the actual final level.
Oh, right. Oh, no.
I mean, and the world's small enough that I didn't mind doing that and noticing that I fucked it up the first time and got the bad ending. I literally only missed one item because it's just like, dude, okay, they give you the hover, right? And then literally 20 seconds later, they give you a double jump. So, what if I already have the hover? Why am I ever going to use the double jump? So like when I got the hover, I just left the area, and I came back, to get the power up, to get this power up that was literally one room above the hover.
Oh my god!
And it's the double jump. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
It seems to me like the game has too many things.
It does. It has way too many things. It does not need. It doesn't need half of the things that it uses. And then there's the issue where, like, I think areas 3, 4, and 5 are just kind of really boring and drab. Like the game starts out really vivid and bright, and it's very colorful, very pretty, very exciting to look at, and then it becomes like sewers and underwater caves for this stretch of 2 hours.
I wonder how much of that is still the original game, though, because that's kind of how.
Yeah, yes, the original game does have that issue, but this is something they could have corrected. But man,
especially when they made the whole thing look so vibrant.
Yeah, like
when they made the beginning look so vibrant.
Yeah, like because even in that original game, that opening area is still pretty drab, but they really prettied it up in 0. So, but speaking of Area 5,
oh boy,
man! So Area 5 is an underwater cave level, and they make you trudge like. And this area was already on my last nerve because it's an area that they make you trudge through in the tank at like 35% speed. And they don't give you the weapon. They don't give you the item that lets you move fast in water until you're like 85% finished with the area. So it's doing everything it can to make you go as slow as fucking possible. It's doing everything to annoy the fuck out of you. Like, that is all this area exists for, I'm convinced. And I got to this one area where there are these currents and they're blowing you. They pull you along and you're moving fast, and to get into this area that is up above, you need to grab a ladder. So, if I were to ask you, if you were playing a video game that is a 2D platformer, and you needed to grab a ladder, what would be your method of input to try and grab that ladder?
Yeah, hold up.
Hold up.
Boy, like everybody, I think we're all in agreement here, right? You press up. That's what I thought. So I spent, and I'm not making this up, I spent the next 47 minutes in this one room being pulled by this current, unable to grab this ladder, by pressing up, holding up right against the current to try and move slower through it that way. Maybe I could grab it that way. Spamming up, holding it, trying to press it at the right time, spamming it on my controller and up on my keyboard. Everything. 47 minutes later, he just decides to grab the ladder for some reason. I couldn't fucking tell you why.
So there's no revelation of why. Because I think Carmichael and Twitter was like, try pressing jump. And
yeah, like everybody was like, try pressing jump. Guess what works on other ladders in this video game?
Holding up.
If I press jump near a ladder, for some reason, that's the grab the ladder button.
Okay.
That works on every other ladder that I attempted to jump on in this fucking game. Going back to this fucking ladder with that knowledge, I was still not able to grab it. I do not understand how to grab that fucking ladder, or how I managed to finally grab it. And what really pissed me off was when I got in there and I went through the little dungeon, I got the item, and it wasn't even a required item.
No, wait.
I mean, it's required in the sense that I would have needed to get it at some point, because again...
Yeah, literally everything is required by the end, but it's
but
not even the
at the moment, I grabbed the item, I saved, and I just turned the game off for 2 hours.
The real kicker would have been if you got up the ladder, got into a dungeon, and then died.
Or, well, like, this game's very generous with checkpoints. You would have just started at the start of the dungeon.
Yeah.
Like it's just got checkpoints.
This one just spawns you at the bottom of the ladder.
Now, what would have really done it? What would have really done it for me is if it would have been... because there are power-up caves that exist solely for the purpose of you going in and grabbing more gun levels or health or something. And since this game is baby fucking easy, like, none of that's required. So it would have really pissed me off if it would have been one of those caves.
No item at all.
Yeah, like nothing at all. No forward progress at all. That would really piss me off.
I think if it was that, somebody would have fucking told you real quick.
Right. Yeah. I would hope so. But so even though like that kind of soured my experience, and areas 3 and 4 and 5 were kind of bleh. I thought that I think that the game has a pretty strong conclusion. I think that like the power up you get going into Area 9 is the shit. It is amazing. Like, and it's more than the video that I posted, by the way. Like, it's something way cooler than that. And I think that like that final area and like the way you have to traverse the final area and the ways they make you play with your power-ups, especially with like the wall climbing, because like you get the wall climb real late at the end of the original game and it's barely used at all. So they let you get a lot of use out of it, especially here in ways that original game doesn't ever play around with, and letting you do things completely upside down or sideways. And so that final area, the traversal through it at least is really awesome, but it's kind of bogged down by the fact that it's also just framework for a boss rush. Like, oh boy, yeah.
Aww.
Like, already, like, you want to make me fight these boring bosses again? No. But yeah, like going back to like we mentioned the difficulty, like going back to that extra difficulty mode, like. So that new difficulty mode that you get after you beat the game, like enemies have revenge bullets. There are obviously stronger enemies in areas where they weren't before. Fine, I get that. There's fuck, lost a train of thought there. Hold on, brain fart. Yeah, like so something that I thought would have been smart. And something that is in the game is that certain enemies are weak to certain weapon types in the overhead stages, right? But it's a moot point when everybody literally just gets shredded by the wave beam. So the yeah, fucking Discord, thank you.
I told you, it just kicks you into AFK without touching anything.
So the difficulty, like the new difficulty mode, as I was saying before Discord so rudely interrupted me, you get revenge bullets, whatever, that's dumb. And the power up ability, like, you know, like something that's smart that they they can't elaborate on because the wave beam basically outperforms every other weapon in the game, is that like enemies in those overhead stages do have weaknesses to certain weapons that you have. So it's like, okay, that's cool, but this new difficulty mode overcorrects so that they can only be damaged by that type of weapon. So it's like a really severe overcorrection. I just don't think like the harder difficulty is all that interesting. But overall, like, I don't think this game's terrible. Like, I'll probably play 2 at some point. I'm not in any hurry. I didn't hate my time with this game. Other than the ladder. The ladder. Me and that.
Fuck the ladder.
What the fuck? Like, I still don't know. I still have no idea why I cannot grab that ladder. Even now! now, even going back on New Game Plus to that exact area.
Oh my God.
And like, just I'm gonna see what the fuck's going on here. Like, I sat there for another couple minutes, like, I don't fucking care anymore. I'm done.
Need a turbo controller to press up.
How faster could I be pressing up if I'm jamming up on my controller and my keyboard at the same time? And I know the game is taking input from both because I tested it. I have no idea why I could not grab that fucking ladder. I think the game's just stupid.
I don't know how no tester was like, hey guys, the hitbox on the ladder's fucked.
Yeah, like, how did, like, and I know that I'm not the only one that had this issue because there are forum topics I have seen online about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, video games.
It sounds like you had a better time with this than The Messenger.
I had a better time with this than The Messenger. I think both games are middling, in a way.
But you finished this one.
But I finished this one, and I did not hate my time with it. And it didn't actually offend me in the way that I feel The Messenger did with that assy second half.
It's like having it be a plot twist that the game is bad. Like, that's rough.
I can really get surprise! You got shit!
Well, some people think the second half is better.
Oh, God. Patrick Klepek.
I think Person thinks the second half is better.
Yeah.
He did get... I remember that because I followed him on Twitter at the time. He got a lot of comments saying, like, boy, a lot of people are telling me they like the first half dramatically more.
Boy, are they so wrong.
Isn't it cool when games can...
He wrote an article about it. He actually took that embarrassing opinion and wrote more than 100 words about it.
The funniest thing is how dramatic he was, like to the point of it has an all-time terrible start.
Yeah.
But keep sticking with it, and then it'll reveal itself to be good.
God, and there's
it's abysmal, but then it's good.
God. Sometimes it can't.
And that was like the first I'd heard about the game, so I was just like, oh, it turns into a Metroidvania at some point. Cool. And then everyone started talking about, oh, the first half is the better one. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, wait, speedrunners are only playing that part. Uh-oh. Yeah, because like I noticed that was a weird thing, because a friend of mine streams that game from time to time, and I always like wondered, like, why does he only play the first half? That's weird.
Oops.
Oh, I get it! But yeah, Blaster Master Zero, like, I think it's totally fine. Like, I wish it had more difficult. Like, if it had more, like, a more sensible difficulty, I'd probably enjoy it more. There was, like, a really fun New Game Plus mode you can load up and play as a super-powered Sophia. And I was able to, like, roll through and beat the game in, like, 12 minutes. Like, that was fun.
Insane.
That was pretty fun, I have to say. The game does have extra characters and stuff that you can buy, and it also has a couple included that actually do change the game in some small ways that are actually substantial.
Is this the one where you can play as Shantae?
You can play as Shantae, Shovel Knight.
Oh my god. The whole canon Metroidvania indie crew.
Yeah, like they're all there. Everybody's here.
Well, actually, I'm looking at the DLC on Steam. It's literally Shovel Knight and Shantae.
Yeah, Shovel Knight, Shantae, and then like the Galgun girl is included.
She's either just included or not in the Steam version.
She's in the Steam version.
Okay, so then she's just free.
Yeah, she's free. And Gunvolt. Gunvolt, dude.
Okay. Oh, so the Inti Creates characters are free. And then
yeah, the
Shantae
Inti Creates characters. I think it's funny that most people are surprised as fuck when they find out Galgun is by Inti Creates. I always think that's fucking hilarious because it always catches people off guard. But yeah, like this game's fine. I'll play 2 at some point. Not in any major hurry to. Yeah. Like I when I initially finished it, I was kind of like, whatever. This was just one of those. But I'm just like, also kind of like, it's not trying to be, though, so I really shouldn't be judging it like that.
Well, I think requiring 100% items for the true ending is a bit trying to be one of those.
Yeah, that kind... and there's really, like... If there was, like, a story reason for it, I would... Like, if they could have justified it if they would have actually, like, done something, like... With, like, if there was an item that I didn't find that was actually related to the story or something. Like, that would have, logically made that make sense. But no, it was just, I missed the double jump. And it was like, well, I don't want to fucking double jump because I got a hover!
What
you
if that's
literally gave me the hover!
First. Just change it so that you need the double jump and the hover to get into the final area.
Like, what? Yeah. Like, I would have just taken that. Like, just any kind of justification. But no, it's just like, no, the cutscene just changes. So now you can go to Area 9.
Yeah.
Your frog pulls a tank out of its asshole. that
Big
can
frog.
go to level 9. Hooray!
Life is good.
It's fine. It's a fun game. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I'm chill with it. So I guess that's gonna.
You arrived at an understanding.
I arrived at an
Master Zero.
understand. Like I said, like this is a genre. Well, again, this game doesn't really fit into the genre, but with my headspace at the time, it was like I'm looking at this. Like I'm looking at this and trying to compare it against Hollow Knight again, probably when that's not really what this game's trying to be. Like it's kind of like why I want to look at Iconoclasts here soon. Like I'll probably play Bloodstained Ritual of the Night at some point because I need to get this negative Nancy feeling out of my system. I don't like there's something that's stuck in my craw where I'm just like I don't want to compare everything to Hollow Knight, and I know that I'm doing that, and it just bugs me for some reason. I feel like I'm becoming somebody that I don't want to be. Like I'm creating this one experience, and I want everything to be that one experience. And I think too many people do that online with dumb shit like retro games already. And I don't want to fucking do that.
I think for me, it's that when I played Metroidvania games in the past before Hollow Knight, I was still like, there's something. I was like comparing them to the game that didn't exist in my head. Like, it was just like, oh, that none of them understand what this genre could be. They could be more open and exploration based, and not just guiding you from point to point. And then Hollow Knight came out, and it's just like, you're the one I was looking for all this time. Like, I was comparing them to Hollow Knight before Hollow Knight came out. Is what I'm saying. Like, so I understand it's a frustration with the genre.
Yeah, like when I started getting really bored of the genre, which was pretty quick, honestly. That was one of the main reasons. Is that it's just like nobody's like adding level ups didn't make these games good. Like that's not what did it. No, stop. Y'all are missing the point. But yeah,
I feel ya.
That's a personal journey. Yeah. So even though Blaster Master Zero doesn't really fit that bill, I like it. I think it's okay. Like it's not like I literally it was brisk. Like I literally finished it in like 8 hours. So it's like It's not even a heavy commitment if you do want to play it. Even though it's baby easy, it was satisfying enough to stick with. Blowing things up still feels good. That tank still feels good to ride around in and hover around in. So yeah, there was still a lot there for me to kind of hook into and still feel engaged with. So
cool.
I guess this is probably going to be where we part ways for the evening. So I would like to thank.
This is a beefy one.
Yeah, this one was pretty damn beefy. I would like to thank everybody for coming out and putting up with our bullshit. Because Lord knows y'all deserve a medal for that shit. Good Lord, you get the patience of saints. if you've made it this far, holy shit.
We had a lot of different flavors of bullshit too this time.
Yeah, there was a lot. There's so much. This is the Neapolitanist bullshit episode ever. We had Cloaca up at the top. It was just so much.
God, I forgot how this all opened.
Just it Ooh, bringing the heat this episode. Good lord. But don't be like me. Don't try to compare every episode to this one from now on. We can't be doing that. Gonna get yourself. You're gonna turn yourself into one of those people. You don't want to be one of those people. John Thayer, tell the internet people at home where they can find you.
Farawaytimes.itch.io.
Rhett!
I'll make another game someday.
I've got an idea for one. It's in my brain right now. All I gotta do
I've got those too.
all I gotta do, I think there's one thing I need to do to get me inspired, and I need somebody to do a background thing for me, and I think that'll get me inspired enough to dive in fully. So I might talk to somebody this week.
Nice.
To see if they could do something, because I think that this idea, I could probably bang this out in a week, 2 weeks or so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that rules.
Ideas
are really obnoxiously big.
Yeah, it's not a big game at all, but it's like, oh, hey, I found a joke, and I want to make a game about it.
Good.
There
you made the fun Battletoads joke.
I made the fun Battletoads joke game, and people liked it. So it was like a good 3-minute shot in the arm of, haha, you did a thing, and that was cute. So hopefully we can strike that kind of... hopefully I can strike that kind of energy again, inject a little more fun into the timeline. So I'll be trying to probably poke around at that over the course of the next couple weeks. And got Cyber Shadow coming out this week. I'm stoked for that.
My God.
We will probably...
East 9.
We will be talking East 9 next episode, more than likely. There's some good fucking shit on the horizon, people. Rhett, where can the internet people find you?
Twitter.com/Rhett. Watch Symphogear.
You have an itch page. People can play your games, Rhett.
They can download them now. They were Flash games. They're not meant to be downloaded.
And, of course, you can find me at my dumb website. And remember, we are the podcast that loves you. We are the only ones that love you. And that's a show. I'm going to find a host and get the fuck out of here. I'm tired. So let's see who's streaming. Let's get.
I'm glad we kept the energy going through all the.
Oh yeah, we did. We kept the energy.
We all had a lot of stuff we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, like I was surprised.
I know. I was like, oh, I'm saving 2 games for my second bit, and then John had. Multiple rants, and then Ollie also had multiple.
I usually cut like when we're starting to run long, but I thought, you know what, fuck it this time. Let's go.
I know. Now I'm
I was really glad.
Now I realize never throw to Polly last. She has to be first or second. Because you always cut your stuff when that happens.
It's just a matter of timing. I don't want people sitting here for like 9,000 hours.
I know, but it feels sad that we take all the time and then you're just like, oh, I guess I won't talk about my thing.
Well, no, that's why I just move it to the next episode. I just move it to the next episode.
Yeah, and then on the next episode, you got something else that needs to be moved.
All right. Okay, Sayara did a real good cover.
Oh, no.
He did a real good cover. Do we want to debut it here on stream?
Yeah.
I'm going to debut it here on stream. There are precious few people here that'll probably get this. It's probably only me, and if Beepner's out there, I know he'll get it. Let me see here. Let me get this all. Let's make sure we don't show the porn folder by accident.
Is the character on the first one holding a box of Symphogears and a box of Higurashis?
I think so.
Okay, that's what I enjoyed that.
Yep, that's
on
right.
Brand.
All right, hold on, I'm getting it coming. Hold on. Don't go look on Twitter. You're gonna look here. You're gonna watch my stream first. We are debuting a new cover that will be used at some point.
Good.
Okay.
Symphogear is yellow. Higurashi is green. No. Those are their colors.
Well, they're Hibikis and Shions.
But also, you immediately recognize Hibiki. Oh, that's Symphogear because Hibiki yellow and yellow.
Yeah.
And then Mion Shion green, Higurashi, Mion Shion. Yes, correct.
God, that sounded like literal gibberish in my ears. I have been listening to people talk for so long. All right. Here comes
I need to go make some chili.
a very good podcast cover.
Okay.
I promise you.
Come on, hit me.
Here, it's up. It's up.
Oh, I don't get the reference.
You don't get the reference.
I don't either. Thank you though.
Yeah,
Cool
it's
podcast.
that is a Beastie Boys Check Your Head reference. It's a very cool album cover. It's like, oh hey, there's 3 people on that album cover.
Cool.
I bet we could spoof that and it'd be really rad. So there it is.
There it is.
And that's it. That's all there is. Boom! That's a Beastie Boys reference. I'm so good at references. Okay.
You know, Persona 5 invented references.
Do you know Persona 5 invented the Beastie Boys?
That's why the people love the soundtrack so much.
Yeah!
The Beastie Boys on it. God, I went to the Rabby Ribby Reddit.
Oh no.
Where there's a word salad. And there was a meme and it was a fucking JoJo reference. And I was
God.
okay.
Throw me out of an airplane. Okay, we're gonna
grab it now.
Let's see, we're gonna go you know what? L Rock's streaming. He's playing Haunted Castle.
Ooh.
The only good Castlevania game.
I mentioned the Konami arcade collection earlier today. That's one of my ones that haven't cleared yet.
The only good Castlevania game. So,
you know, Polly, I don't think a single person in the world has that opinion.
So we're gonna send you all over to L Rock, everybody. Thanks again for coming out. Much love. We love you guys. Take care.